Oh man, what's up? What's up? Y'all know how it goes. What's up? What's up? What's up? I was thinking about if I wanted to make a Twitter space. I was thinking about if I wanted to make this a Twitter space too. What's up? Let's get the likes up, y'all. Are you a smart man? Appreciate it, JC. Appreciate it. Oh man, I'm actually in a pretty good mood. So maybe because Gemini season started or something. In a pretty good mood. So yeah, feel like I'm gonna have a lot more energy this season than I usually. But yeah, what's going on, y'all? See what the folks. I just copped a new book. Just copped a new book. What's up, Groove? Just copped a new book. Spent the $60 a day. King's Guard. What's up? It was this, yeah, it was a sci-fi. I wanted to make it Twitter space, but I don't think. Then I thought about it. I was like, I don't feel like hearing people on Twitter. Nah. Then I thought about it. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Well, when it comes to the Twitter spaces, so. But yeah, it's a lot to get into today. You already know this topic. You already know how the topics go. Keep them broad and bring everybody in that motherfucker. It'll bring everybody in that motherfucker. What's up, Groove? All right, who is Truth Telling Taino?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Doing all right.
What's up? What's up? Are you answering the prompt today? Today?
We're the first American black slash melanated.
Yeah.
Yes and no, I would
And
say.
yes and no.
Yeah. So the reason why I say yes and no, per my research, the first ones in the Americas via South America and Central America, yes. North America, like Canada areas, no.
You hold on one second. You gotta hold on, lady, Miss Lady. You got to echo, Miss Lady. So you want to mute yourself. Thank you.
Okay.
Um, you gotta come to TikTok, Detroit boss. Come to TikTok. I can't figure out how to join the panel. Come to TikTok. All right. So I got interest. I got a question. All right, hold on. I'm about to mute her. I don't know. She knows how to work this thing. There we go. That's a Jesus Christ. Uh, so I'm trying to. So you said there weren't any melanated folks in North America, but they were in South America.
Correct. That's my belief based on my research. I feel like also science supports that, because our skin has melanin, that being away from the equator typically tends to cause vitamin D deficiency and make us actually sick.
We
So
got both.
my understanding is that the people of the Pacific, they rode their boats over to South and Central America, and then they seeded the Caribbean and the southeast of the United States. But the other coast up in the north area, that wasn't us. That was a different group.
Well, there's plenty of things to tackle with that. There are melanated people found in Europe, so that's one. There are definitely dark skinned people in Europe and stuff like that. What else? There also the equator runs all throughout the world. That equator theory, it all runs throughout the world. And also, there are tribes in North America that come from South and Central America. So,
That's from moving around, but I'm talking about the original seating of the areas. So
like the
how could that?
Northwest, like the Pacific Northwest and up.
Yeah, like the North. Even then,
but basically, like the
hold on.
Bering Strait theory, I believe that is accurate for the West Coast up in the north there, Canada and all of that, in Alaska, because they still got their people there. But on the southeast, that's a totally different group of people, and it's like it's annoying that we keep mixing them up when we understand everywhere else that there's different distinct groups that can exist on the same landmass. Like China and Taiwan are near each other, but we understand they're two different, completely different looking people. Southeast Asians are right next door, they look completely different. So that's the same concept.
1 second. So with that being said, why are there people being described in North America as being dark skinned by early explorers?
And those early explorers, they are talking about the people on the southeast coast, because historically,
and
nobody
the
was out
too.
in the west. Hold on, nobody was out in the west.
I wasn't even done. I wasn't even done. In the Northwest too, there's descriptions of people being chocolate skinned. Oregon, Washington.
Missionaries that hit hit North America as well.
So yeah, there's plenty of documents. Like shout out to Professor Sukla. She showed me the document on that. They described the people in Oregon and Washington as being dark chocolate complexion. And then we go to the Northeast, the Lenni Lenape, William Penn, John Smith with the Piscataway, right? They're all described as being dark skinned, having chocolate complexions.
Are you talking about the East or the West?
Both.
So I don't agree with that theory, honestly.
It's not a theory. If people are documented,
people, but on the West Coast, those Plains Indians don't have nothing to do with the East Coast people. That's a completely different group.
Some of them Plains Indians came from the East Coast. They got a story about chasing the buffalo.
Exactly. They're from Siberia as well.
So that's from my family. My like my grandmother's Siberian Yupik. And you can see this is her in the beginning of summer, and she's very dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's not dark.
For being around, I mean, you got to understand there's no light for 4 months out of the year.
For sure.
Like,
understand that, and that's why. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. I told him that the West Coast is seeded from a different group of people than the East Coast, which is true. American Indians on the Southeast Coast is not the same breed of people at all. Not hair, not phenotype, not cultural practices, nothing. So the Yupik and the Inuit and the Eskimo group, that's a totally different group, and they probably did come through the Bering Strait. But the people on the Southeast Coast, which is my people, they came up via South America, and prior to that came through the Pacific. They're not the same.
There's also you have the Algonquin. They come through the north too. I'm Algonquin descendant, right? Powhatan, Piscataway. You had the Lenni Lenape. They were all described as being dark skinned. Some came from South America, some came from Canada. So with that being said,
like a mixed group, then that's disingenuous to act like they're one particular group.
So how's it disingenuous when a lot of them come from Canada? What are we talking about?
And especially if every continent had Aboriginal Black people, how could they look different?
Like, hold on 1 second. And then 1 second on top of that, right? It's not a disingenuous argument at all, right? Because the people in South America came up later and mixed with the people that were already in the North. But if folks are coming and saying that these people are dark skinned, coming over, we're seeing these people there, dark skinned, look like goddamn Ethiopians and shit. Because prior to that context of Ethiopian meant any dark skinned person. That's what Ethiopian meant back in those times, right? Now, that being said,
does that woman look dark skinned like yourself?
Does that woman look dark skinned? Like, I'm not even dark skinned, quote unquote. You want to be technical.
But she
right?
just called that woman dark skinned. So what is she if you're not dark skinned?
What is she?
Well, I think she's for being up north and not exposed to light, like the different.
And she explained herself.
People come over here. When I see people come over here,
hold on,
and you talk to them a certain way.
What the hell? What the hell is that? And also, they found dark
He's
skinned
not
people.
exposed to light. He's not gonna look like that.
Hold on, and also there's dark skinned people in Europe they found. So what are we talking about? Grimaldi man, Cheddar man, the Irish, the original Irish.
Still separate, distinct groups of people, though. You
But
cannot.
they're still
be in the
dark.
same people.
There's who said they're the same people? Is everyone melanated the same people?
It sound like you acting like.
I melanated, or everybody considered black the same people? Yes or no? No, we have different cultures. We have different people.
So what are you arguing with me?
Who's are
One group from the
dark are people?
Pacific
Were there people
It's
dark
different
skinned?
than the North. Where's your argument?
I don't get what you're trying to argue. I don't get.
I don't
and
get
you
what
wanna
you're
go
trying to argue.
Hold on, if you want to talk about dark skin, there's people connected to the Pacific Islands, like they're dark skinned too. Like, what are we talking about?
That's what I
Japan.
just said to you. I said the people from the Pacific.
If they're connected to these people, right? If the people in the Northwest and the Pacific are connected to other Pacific islands and they're dark skinned, i.e. Melanesians, why would
Not all of the people in the Pacific are the same group, and even they say it that they're mixed with. Some are mixed with Chinese, some are mixed with Indo,
Yeah, that's how they
and
become
some are just
Polynesian.
purely mixed with Aboriginal.
I'm
Those
talking
are three
about
separate
I'm
groups.
talking about Melanesians. What you're talking about with the Asian mixes are Polynesians. I know the difference, right?
They right next door to each other.
Hold on, slow down, right? What I'm saying is, and there have been studies for a long time connecting dark-skinned people in California and on the Pacific coast to those Melanesians.
I believe a poodle and a chihuahua is the same kind of dog.
Oh my!
Even though they're
Like
both
what are you?
What?
You're conflating the fucking
No,
argument.
it's
You're
gonna
arguing
make sense
something.
for you.
You're arguing something I'm not talking about.
I'm arguing something that will help you make sense.
No, no. I don't need you to speak for me. I don't need you to think for me. I got myself. Like, it's like, what the hell? Polynesian, many islands, Melanesians. You don't know what he's talking about. I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Tell me a cultural practice of yours, because I could tell you of my people.
What? You use crystals?
No, I don't.
That's my people shit. Crystal using. How about that?
And people in Africa also use crystals.
Yeah, we started the crystal shit.
Something unique to your people.
Something, bro. A recipe, cornbread. I literally come from people that call themselves people of the hominy. Cornbread. Grapes.
And what group is that?
Chickahominy. It's in the goddamn name. People of the goddamn hominy.
So your tribe is Chickahominy?
Yeah, I have Chickahominy in my family, yeah.
Didn't you just say you had Padawan or something like that?
Powhatan and the Chickahominy were part of the Powhatan Confederation. On and off. Yeah,
and you said Algonquin, so you like every tribe?
Algonquin. What every tribe Algonquin? Or are you serious? Powhatan and Piscataway. Can we listen? Let's put on our thinking caps for once.
And then you said Chickahominy, so you just every tribe then?
I'm just like, what are you talking about? The Powhatan had many tribes. Yes. Do you want me to tell you? Do you know the history of Virginia? Are you going to tell me that too? Huh? You come on, tell me the history of Virginia.
I'm not going to tell you that, but it just seems like
No. Tell me the history of Virginia, please. Since you want to go all around the goddamn world, you want to check me? Tell me about it.
I don't need to tell you the history of you told me about three different tribes now.
Tell me about your people. How about that, Miss Taino? Why are you calling yourself Taino? Hold on. Why are you calling yourself Taino? That's Spanish.
Spanish.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's
That's
Spanish.
the name that the Spanish people called us when they found us.
Speak Taino. That's Spanish.
And my people are actually Lucayan people. And we still practice from the boat making to the cooking of the food to the beating of the drums. We still practice everything. I don't have to name multiple different groups. I name one because that's who we belong to.
That's who we belong to. Cool. This thing called confederations here in North America. And many tribes.
And I feel like y'all just be picking and choosing groups to name.
Can you stop talking while I'm talking? That's like before you get sent somewhere else. Yeah, like the hell? What the hell is wrong with folks? Oh man, but yeah, thank you, Undecided. Thank you for always coming through and showing respect.
Thank you for having me here.
Like I'm just asking. Oh, were the first Americans black, or what we consider black, or what we consider melanated people?
Well, I know that my family went through like there was different movie theaters in the 50s that natives weren't allowed in.
Uh huh.
And my grandmother here has very kinky black hair. It's we used to call it an escafro.
Mm. Asking for. Wow.
Escafro.
Mm.
But there's pictures. I have pictures of my dad with like big old, I mean, he had a big old head of hair before he went bald.
Oh man.
And our hair texture is completely different. Some different tribes just have
Uh huh.
completely different hair textures.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you're saying your tribe had like more like an afro
Yeah.
hair texture? Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So
Nice.
some look more Asian where they have like thin, like straight hair.
Mm-hmm.
And some have really like kinky black hair and
Wow.
different complexions. And there's even I wish I knew how many different tribes, but there's like there's not only Inuit in Alaska, they're
Right.
considered Indian in
Mm-hmm.
Alaska. There's like all different colors.
Right. For sure. Like just like honestly, because I will go on here to say this. There are accounts of Europeans and settlers coming over here saying that, hey, when they came over here, there's a bunch of many different phenotypes and looks of the indigenous people here. So
Yep, and every once in a while you get a baby with like me that was like who's that baby's daddy, you know?
that's what for sure. But yeah, we got more people on the stage. What's up, real matches? We got Nino, OG, I
Hey,
don't know, Erica.
hey, how's it going?
What's
Hey,
up?
all you have to do is read Howard Zinn's book
Mm-hmm.
of the true accounts of the people who were there of that time, because the Europeans recorded everything. There were two different races of people here in the Americas.
How you doing, brother? How you doing, brother?
And this is what he said.
Hold on, 1 second, Nino. One second, Nino. Real
Yep.
Metrics call. One
Yes,
second.
sir.
And this is actually recorded history. And it's just so much rich history that one group is trying to erase. And they're saying that we're erasing them, but they're trying so hard and desperately to erase us. So that is colonialism at its finest. And they refuse to accept the fact that I don't know if you're familiar with the tribe that met the pilgrims and used their weapons against other tribes. This is American. This is basic American history. So
Right.
when they say that the land is stolen, no, it wasn't stolen. A lot of times, you welcome them. We welcome these people. So, and then they won't argue the fact that they are richly mixed too with European ancestry. They were forced situations between them and the Europeans. I know you guys are familiar with what happened in Oklahoma when they found oil, the Osage tribe,
Mm-hmm.
when they married the whites, and the whites just started picking them off to take their oil. So, it's almost, it's sad. It's sad to the fact that they think that they play this narrative that they're so in tune with the universe, right? But they're constantly on attack mode.
Mm.
And also, if you see what's going on with the 5 recognized tribes, they're kicking people out of that because now that the government is giving them casinos, they're being selfish there as well. So it's all a money grab at this point. it don't matter where we came from. We came from Africa. We have burial grounds underwater that played a wicked role by the government flooding our communities
Right.
to build rivers.
Thank you for the follow, sir. No more.
So, you know, we are indigenous to this land.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where you came from, if you have a strong history and your ancestors are buried in this soil, you are indigenous to this land. So I just wanted to come up and just throw out a little bit of history, just common sense history. So, and I hate to see communities go to war like this, but that's the nature of the beast. So I'll end with that, my brother.
Hey,
I love what you're doing. You're doing a
Appreciate
fantastic
it.
job.
Thank you. You
I
said, hold
Okay.
on, let me
Peace
hold on
out.
one second, Erica. One second. Y'all so obsessed with Pat. Like, you're from Ukraine. You had nothing to do with this history over here. Just wanted to let him know that. What's up, Erica?
who was just talking. I also just bought that book too, a People's History of the United States, and I was very shocked myself at what I saw in the book. It was always told to us from school that, basically they just came in and took it. And when I found out that they were fighting, like they would team up with the oppressors to fight other tribes, I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, am I reading history wrong? And it's crazy. It's crazy what I was seeing. And then I wanted to ask Undecided something, because a lot of Native Americans are saying that they didn't come from up north on down. They're saying that they came from the South America up into the land. They were already here. And so I wanted to ask her a little bit about that, but she, I guess, left. She disappeared.
Yeah, she's I don't think, I'm not gonna speak for her. I don't think that pertains. She's a Inuit, so.
Oh yeah, and also too, I know about your tribe. I'm from Virginia, from Tidewater,
Oh,
Virginia.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I know when you said it, I said, yeah, I know who that tribe is. So
yeah,
are you any related? Are you related to the lady, the loving lady?
am I related to Mildred Jeter?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Did you see her story? She
For
said that
sure.
she was native the whole time.
Yeah, she
And
was
they kept trying to
documented.
make her something else.
She was documented as an Indian on her marriage records and her
Yeah.
children too.
I thought that was strange too, for them to try to force it on her.
Yeah, because she I posted a video. Shout out to Jaylene. She made a video about it. I had posted on Twitter. They were mad about it. And then I found her marriage records, and it said Indian. Like her husband, YT. She was Indian, and then her children were labeled as Indian too. So, you got ties to the Powhatan, Erica?
No, I did do a DNA test. I know some people don't want to, but I did mine, and I was I was 9% Native American, or what you call it. I do have a family member. I pulled up my documents on the live one time. I do have a family member, Nini Woodson, but they are part of the Nottoway tribe.
Oh, you sure not? Okay, shout out to them.
Yeah, my surname is even my mother's surname was actually in the paperwork, her family surname, which is the Blow. And then we have Goins, we have the
Okay.
Woodsons, it's a whole bunch of them.
Got that. Oh, you had the Goins. They go back. So you had Powhatan ties. The Goins, they're
Yeah.
Powhatan. Yeah,
My mom has always, I've never heard stories from my grandmother. She's never said that. If you ask her today who she is, and she's biracial, she'll tell you, no, I'm African. She said it all the time. She don't want to be anything but that. But it's obvious.
Y'all do have African ties too. So.
You know what I'm saying? So we know this. But she doesn't like playing that. She don't play that, so but my mother always told me when I was a kid that we had ties to the Nottoway tribe over here. And I know people who've actually found paperwork, pictures. I have documents. It's a lot of stuff. Maybe one day I could post it on the live and y'all can see it.
So I know some people enrolled in the Sharonaka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of my cousins is. So
Yeah, I get a little nervous about saying it up here because I'm gonna be honest with you. The way these people come at you, nah. It's because
Yeah.
I don't like it when people try to tell people about their history.
Right.
And these people are kind of fierce with it. Like I've seen people like tear you down about your own history. I was just on the live with some Africans and Caribbeans, and the way they was coming at African Americans over there about their history, it was it was deplorable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know.
You got
Oh, and my helper group was M.
You got Apple group M.
My helper group was M too. Yeah, so
Yeah, shout out to that. Yeah, they embarrassed of y'all. Like we don't give a fuck. They like, oh yeah, you getting muted. Dot dot dot. Like, come on, dude. You're about to get muted. You ain't gonna just talk shit in my live stream and not come up here. Like, yeah, these folks, it come with it, dog. I've been doing this for years. So yeah, it come with it. You end up getting some tough skin if you don't already. You got tough skin to do this.
Exactly. Yeah, you just gotta, stand in your square. You can't let these people try to, because people are very good at using their words for manipulation. So you just gotta pay attention to that and not allow them to do that.
Facts. You see how they get quiet as shit when I really start upping on them. You see how they energy change when I really start like upping on them. They never like what? They be like, what? Stuttering and shit. Like
And
they
look,
about to play me.
there was an African lady. I think she was on your live last night. What? Oh no, she was on somebody else live last night. But anyways, she was like, the problem is like that. One problem that she had with us is that we're trying to take away black from her. And how are we gonna take away black when Africa is black and like and all life started there? So like your melanin, she said your melanin is African. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
I'm definitely one of them niggas that'll take that shit away from her.
Yeah, I'm like, bruh, do they not even realize that animals have melanin too? So did the animal melanin start Africa? Like what?
These people funny as hell. They grasping like, no, you can't. No, they just cling to us. They just grasping for anything.
Embarrassing. It's just embarrassing.
Yes, it's embarrassing. And I felt bad for them when Tariq Nasheed used to go in on her, but it's like now I'm like, yeah, get him because it's just too much. It's too much.
Like, what you mean? Like, what's the point of calling you black in Nigeria? Most of y'all are already that in Nigeria.
Right.
What's
exactly. That you're black, because I'm looking at it like, okay, well, based off of what they be saying, it's like, well, when you look at me, you'll know that I'm black. Okay, so if we look at you and know that you're black, why are you claiming to be black if we already know that you're black? It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, they treat us the same. They're going to treat us the same. We get pulled over by the cops just like you. Like, it's never nothing positive.
They keep saying that.
It's never nothing positive.
Man, I was so glad you said that one day when you had called an African out. You was like, why are y'all always trying to bond with us through trauma? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, it's always, it's always we going through the same thing. Oh, we're under the same oppression. When we get pulled over by the police, like, who wants to hear about any of that?
OG, you should have heard this today. Guess what they brought? You ain't gonna believe this. They grasped their straws. Guess what they brought up today? Why they bring up Diddy?
Oh,
your
my
hero
gosh.
Diddy. I said to the guy, I said, okay, so we're gonna bring up Diddy. Don't make me bring up what the Nigerians doing over there in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're not gonna go there.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, like, they got all types of SEX tourism over there. Like, they don't want to go there. They do not want to go there with us. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like, y'all ain't got nothing positive. Like, oh, we used to do double dutch like y'all back in the day, hopscotch type shit. We used to run around like shit like that. Like, they don't even say nothing like that. Like, oh yeah, we used to hit the skating rinks in y'all back in the day, the type of shit.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
look the same thing. you guys get EBT. I said, no, white tea people get it more than we do. And look,
Facts.
but
And
you guys,
but
you guys are criminals. No, they are more criminals than we are. Look at the
Hey.
statistics.
Hey, look, y'all know in 2020, either 2019 or 2020, CNN actually did like an investigation, and they discovered that there's Ghanaians that was getting paid by Russia to troll Black
Yeah.
Americans and invade certain spaces. So all these people
No.
That's a
all these
fact.
people that's coming up and saying these same things, it's because they're getting paid. They got to be getting paid. It's no way. Like, these people are scripted. They're either NPCs or they're reading from a script. It ain't no.
Yeah,
none
they
of
are
those.
getting paid. They got troll
No.
farms in Russia to troll any like us. They do it with Africans, with us. Like the true, like taking political and troll us. Anything that's political here in the United States, they got troll farms. for
Yep.
that.
Yep.
I wonder what's the end game with this. Like, why are they doing that?
Because a lot of people are benefiting from our ignorance. Like, believe it or not, like somebody had told me, they was like, that's why the tariff WARs are going on right now, because all these different places don't want to keep investing into America if they're not going to be able to keep making the money off of our ignorance the same way they are. And it's like, okay, he may not have had something that he could pull up that says exactly that, but if you actually think about it, it's like, he might actually be right about that.
Yep. But yeah, Russia got troll farms. I wouldn't be surprised because India's in on with the censorship in China. So I wouldn't be surprised if they was doing the same shit. They got troll farms too.
What in the world? Like, what is going on?
It's all political, spiritual
I knew it
warfare.
had to
What's
be
up, Venus?
something
Yes.
because it's too many of those lives
What's up,
up. It's
Keisha?
too many pages.
Mhm.
Right, exactly. Like, if what we're saying, if what we say is a lie, it's just BS. You know what I'm saying? Like, us saying that we're from here, there would be no reason why you would have actual Africans hosting lives about us every single day. There's
Right.
no other reason.
Every day. And
It's
then
no
they
other
brought
reason.
Korea. Y'all have to do with it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like if somebody,
What's
if
going on?
yeah, like if I walked into work, right, and there's somebody outside every single day, and every time I get there, he says, "Hey, Jonathan," and I know my name ain't Jonathan, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna pay it no mind. So so if y'all know that we're just African slaves from Africa, you would literally pay us no mind because we're just tripping, we're having psychotic episodes, and
Right.
like you wouldn't actually entertain it.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
Mhm.
and another thing I don't understand too is what is the push everybody? Oh, let me see your DNA test. Let me see your DNA test. So I actually showed mine on live one day, and it was like, oh well, she's the exception. She's different. And I'm like, yeah,
Looking
bro.
at boy.
And I'm like, but yo, bro, like for real, that I think is gross.
Yeah.
As a person, for you to ask for people's genealogy and their history, it's gross.
Exactly.
It's disgusting. Like, I don't go to Africa asking people about where they come from. It's disgusting.
Thanks. What's up, Tyron?
What up, Darvin? Yeah, we just came off of one of these panels with these Native American cats. Finally, I met one that would allow us to speak, because usually they be running and don't let us talk at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, the topic tonight were the first Americans Black/melanated. I'd say yes. You got whole live historians saying it. Like right during our enslavement in postbellum, they told themselves that we were already indigenous to this landmass from Southwest, Southeast, East Coast, Central and South America, and the Caribbeans. They all said that Indians look like you and I, with dark skin, from black to brown to red to yellow, different hair textures, wide nostrils, and they said that like we got Australoid, Melanesian features on skulls. You got whole live You got organizations and acts that was put in place to try and hide these informations because a lot of these Native Americans don't want to reveal the actual truth because
Right.
history is multifaceted. You can't just use a black and white racial standard behind it when it's much more to look
Right.
for.
Facts. What's up, Sugar? What's up, Sugar?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
All right. I'm sorry, I was just munching. Yes. Were the first Americans black, melanated? Yes, 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 yes. We were the indigenous people here first. The other people who's claiming to be that Indians, they're not from here. They're from like Asia and Mongolia and shit. So you run their blood or whatever, they come from there. They migrated over here, and how they steal everything from us, they stole that too.
Huh?
Fact.
Oh.
Yeah.
They
Fact.
were
Mhm.
be out there. Okay, what's up, Yes? What's up, Venus? What's up, Venus? We're all Egyptians, Goofy. We're even the Asiatics. Hello? You know what came up here, King Vel? I know you've been talking. We're
I
all
mean,
the
the
go
Yeah,
ahead.
and why you saying goofy? Like we gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like you already being argumentative, and we ain't even talked to you yet.
Exactly, golly. Even I see him in the comments, like he's saying some stuff.
Yeah,
Thank
who
you
you
for the
going
follow.
off on?
They-
For sure.
right, like ain't nobody even engaging with him. Nobody responded to him. What's up, New Era?
because the simple
go ahead.
fact, I mean, they name it different names, but we were on all four corners of the earth. Period.
Right.
It's facts. And the origin of us, right? I did a little I wrote some notes down because I'm Aquarius. I'm just saying it like that. I got laugh type 8. That's why I got a little
What's up,
knowledge, I guess. My little whatever. But it's this is my just own. I'm not trying to like make no one force no one to believe my whatever, right?
What's up? What's up,
Just-
Audrey? Oh, go ahead.
I got my little notebook here. Okay. Well, that's on the North Pole. Hold on, let me get to it. I got different. Okay, let me find it. I was just on a panel and I was trying to but I don't know. I don't know. His panel got flagged or something. I don't know. They cut off. Where is that? I just had it. Give me a second, y'all. I should have had it already up.
It's fine. It's fine.
I got so many notes because I like when I read, I like to write it down so I don't forget what I read and kind of like instead of like remembering a whole book word for word, kind of like break it down in my own notes to make it make sense for me. You know, I'm not, it's just my own to how it makes sense to me, how I understand it. Here we go. Bam. It says the origin of the Black race. They were designed with divine intuition, birthed through a fusion of Earth's sacred energies and the cosmic fusion. Now, this is just my own little.
You're speaking a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. That's
Hey, right, man. Watch your mouth. What you doing, dude? Like, watch your mouth.
I'm not trying to, like I said, this
No, he
my
being
own
disrespectful
notes.
to you.
And I'm not trying to make nobody believe
one second,
my notes.
Goddess. Let me say something to him real quick. What is your point in coming up here and already being disrespectful? If you gonna do all that, just don't even talk to us. Like, we are not like y'all. We have decorum, we have respect. If you don't have respect for us, literally just do not engage with us. It's not hard to avoid our lives.
Oh God.
The woman's trying to finish her point.
Yo, you spoke over her, dickhead. Like, show some respect. You claim you indigenous, right? Oh no, you claim you indigenous, right? But you just disrespected the woman. Fuck is wrong with you?
me being indigenous. So
Yeah, yeah. Y'all claim y'all matrilineal and shit. Respect the woman when she talking.
we're petulant.
Yeah. That's why y'all. That's why you fucking musty. Now get off my stage.
I'm sorry. Look, like I said, this is just my own way of me when I read things, go down the rabbit hole. I take notes. Look, I'm gonna show y'all. I'm not lying. I literally take notes because I don't want to forget what I wrote or what I read. You feel me? So I take notes on all my little research and I write it down in a way I could understand it. You feel me? And to make it make sense. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, okay, hold on.
Is it pulled up? You got it pulled up right now?
Oh yeah, I do. I got them on the pyramids.
I can put you on the big
I
screen.
got it on the pyramids. I did one on the Ark of the Covenant. I did one on manifesting. I did one the deep history of the Lemurian and Atlantean race, the fall of what really happened, because the Atlantean and the Lemurians is history. The Atlanteans had the advanced technology and they misused it, and it was a big explosion, and that's why it sunk on the ocean. But not only that, it sunk there and destroyed their world. Their world at the time. It threw the planet's grid offline. Okay, so, but now because we're in 2025, the planet is realigning itself. And when the planet realigns, so do we. And when that happens, that's why we're remembering. It's called a harmonic conversion. When globally people are on this raising their vibrations to the same frequency. I did one on that too, but that's on my that's on my other stuff. But I'll read the little, my one on the origin of the black race, because that's who I am, and I wanted to know what was, where this is, where you got to start from the source. I wanted to go to the source, because you got to go to the source to find out, and work your way down basically to get the real information, because
right.
And it was a journey, because you have to like unlearn everything you've been indoctrinated with to kind of like, yeah, it's kind of hard because you've been indoctrinated. But I always say this: when I was young, like 3, 4, I kind of felt like, I don't know if anybody else felt like this, but when I was like 3 or 4, I felt like, I said to myself, I said, I don't know, but something ain't right. This ain't right. I looked at the stars, I looked at the sky, looked at the the trees and the grass. And when we're younger, we're more grounded, right? Because we haven't been indoctrinated yet. So we feel, we see, our frequency is like on a million when we're children, because we haven't been indoctrinated. So we see things, we feel things. And I always felt as a child, I don't know if anybody else felt this, I said, something not right. This ain't what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Straight, I don't know, but I felt, I talked to other people, they say they felt this way like at 12 or 7, or what I'm saying. I don't, but I feel like because when you're children, you're more grounded, because we climb trees, we play in the dirt, we make mud patties, we, what I'm saying, we stick fight, we, what I'm saying, we do these kind of things as children, make us grounded, so our frequency, that's why we're protected. But anyway, that's another story. But I mean, go ahead and I'll make it real fast. I don't want to take up all the
Yes, yeah, we appreciate you. Yeah.
Okay, it says the origin of the black race. They were designed with divine intuition, birthed through an infusion of earth, sacred energies, and cosmic infusion from advanced beings who created consciousness across worlds. They are the first children of earth, and African was chosen as its womb of its civilization because of its powerful ley lines, enriched energetic fields, and deep connection to the soul of the planet Earth, Gaia. They called it Gaia back then. The eldest Black humans were created to be living temples capable of holding great spiritual knowledge and cosmic memory. The beings involved in this process were not a myth, they were real, interdimensional, and behoven ones. The Syria, especially from Syria B, came as teachers and galactic architects. They worked with the Gaia to fine tune the human vessel, design it to resonate with light frequency. They infuse melanin into their skin, not just for solar protection, but as a receiver to cosmic information and sacred technology that allows the body to communicate with the stars. The feline race, I guess, is Lemurians beings from Lyra Matrix helped establish this energetic grid for human consciousness. They encoded sacred geometry, telepathic communication, and soul memory into the human form. The beings remembered later as Egyptian deities, some from where inner communications of the original cosmic architect. They were custodians of the divine order, guide early African civilization into living and balancing with the nature and the cosmos. So the Black race is not a product of isolation or primitive origin. It's a foundation. They prototype a powerful conversion of earth energy and star ancestry designed to carry the light, the high and spiritual soul that resonates. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
That's just what I got. Like I said, I'm not making, I don't want nobody to like, yeah, that's just my own, how I have to, when I read things, because, I was in special ed and shit. So I have to learn a certain way.
Oh, thank you for sharing. So anybody wants to come up, feel free. I'm just over here. I'm just reading and shit. I'm just reading.
Made everybody bored, jump off.
Hey, what's up, Lila? No, yeah.
That was great.
That was great. Yeah, I was about to say, you made everybody jump off. If they decided to jump off, that's their fault. That's on them. That's their problem.
It makes sense. We're very spiritual. Our skin, our melanin is a frequency, a receiver to receive the light in the frequency. I'm telling y'all. I mean, people, like I said, when you were children, I don't know if when y'all were children, you start, you start to see the world, right?
Yep.
I don't know if anybody questioned that at a young age. Like, it didn't seem real to me. So it just seemed like it don't supposed to be like this. That's what I said. I can remember what I said that time when I was like, yeah, something ain't right, and it don't supposed to be like this.
Right. For sure. What's up, Lala?
Hey, hello everyone. Hope everyone's well. Yeah, I just appreciate Darvid for always opening up a space for us to discuss these things, and I appreciate the just the critical thinking that it takes to really decipher all this information and all these clues we have from the past. So I'm just listening, but I always love discussing melanin because it's not studied enough, it's not discussed enough. And what the sister was saying, for me when I was younger, I had my self-realization, but that's where I started to really like hear my own voice and trust myself. And I don't think we talk enough about neuromelanin and what that means and how our body functions. So and when you think about solar energy and how melanin processes and
Right,
absorbs
it's a
sunlight.
receiver. Our
Yeah,
melanin
it's
is a
like,
receiver. It's
yeah.
energetic. It's
Mhm,
like we listen. I'm just gonna throw this in here.
mhm.
So our DNA is like a braid, right? Everybody, how they pick, how they draw the picture of your DNA strand, right? It's a braid. But in the middle of the braid, and it's everybody's braid is like this. It's like it kind of breaks apart and comes like little spots, little dots, right? And then it comes back together at the end. That's called junk DNA. And that's the DNA that they manipulated our DNA and made us forget. And that's why we forgot. That's how they made us forget, y'all. But now, because the harmonic conversion is happening again, and the planet globally is remembering, because planet Earth is realigning from that old WAR they had in ancient times, the Lemurian and the Atlantean times, that disrupted the planet, because we're a part of Mother Earth. So when Mother Earth realigns, so do we. And that's why a lot of people are remembering, because it's coded in our DNA.
Facts. Mother Earth.
Neuromelanin. Excuse me. How are you all today? I wanted to tell you guys I love being on panels with all of the African descents. I wanted to tell you neuromelanin comes from Africa.
Yeah. Mother Earth.
Yes,
Wait, what's the
ma'am.
one?
Yes, ma'am. Mother Earth.
Mother Earth.
Africa. And I just wanted to let you guys know, I wanted to apologize for the enslavement. It's just wanted to say the reason why we never came back to get you guys when the colonizer came to take you on the boats. We could not come back to get you because there were no more boats. Yes. I'm just playing, y'all. What's up?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, that accent was nasty.
Yeah.
I think I felt Lila Boyle.
On my phone, I'm over here working.
I'm glad you said something because I was about to say,
That's good, girl. You can do some voiceover.
Y'all was about to cook me. Oh man.
Yeah, so I'm in shell shock today.
What's going on, Niga? Sorry, Niga. We never
Yes,
sent
I
you
have
to
five.
Niga.
I have 5 accounts.
Okay, got you.
I got 5 accounts. Yep.
For sure. Niga, we never sent Debo to Niga. You weren't strong enough, Niga. That's why we sold you, Niga. Nah, but
yes, I want to put in the chat how you spell nigga. That's how you spell nigga. It's in the chat.
Man, that's crazy. But shit, I'm reading. I got a new book cop. I think this just dropped, honestly. I think it just dropped. I'm gonna show y'all real quick. I got a new book drop. It's a lot. It's over 1,000 pages.
Slow down. I can't, I told you I'm blind. I'll get my glasses on the 17th. Okay, slow down. America is the
True Old World, the original Africa. Original Africa. I wonder when he published this. It had to be this year because I just saw it today. I was like, all right, I'll get it. It's a lot. I'm gonna show you all the table of contents. Wrote Chat GBT, then edit it. Kindle. Let me see. Yeah, it's a lot of. What page am I on? It's over 1,000 pages. Hold on. Wait a minute. Does it say 9,000? Wait, it's over 1,000 pages, yo.
Is this a PDF or a physical book?
It's on Kindle, so I paid $60 for this shit.
Right.
if you want to see the actual price of the hardcover, I got you. On Amazon, America is the True Old World, because I just dropped the book, I believe.
People telling me I should write a book.
This is your book or somebody else's?
It's Amenhotep Chavis Bay. He's connected to the Powhatan and shit because he's a Chavis, right? In the Lumbee. But he's got that Moorish, he got that more Moorish twang to it. So this is how much the paperback is. 144. The hardcover
What in
is
the
damn near
world?
is damn near 250. So
You know what
Way
they
too much for a book.
let me just say this. You know what a book over $100 is the real I swear they chart the books that cost the most. That's where the real tea at, y'all.
but yeah, so
Book that's actually got sent to me is 360 some pages. It was almost $250,000.
It got the tea in it, don't it?
Yes, I could send it to y'all too. If
yes. Go
let
ahead.
me send it to you. I'll send you the what is it, the download or
Yeah, PDF, yeah. And then I'm gonna just go through the table of contents. This is an interesting book. I like his book outside of like, the stuff I don't not say I dislike the stuff that I
You
disagree.
talking about the Atlanteans?
Yeah, it has a lot. I'm gonna show y'all the table of contents rating real quick. I gotta go back. I'm gonna have to go back to 160. But this is the table of contents. This is the author, by the way. Amenhotep Chavis Bey. Apparently he was big on Facebook or something. Other round. Where's the table of contents at? Preface me. Damn, it's like
Have a spyglass for you to get to it quicker.
I got it. I'm right there. I'm there. I'm there. Quantum Flat Earth, Human Being Alchemy. That's chapter 2. Chapter 3 talks about Atlantis. Chapter 4, he talks about Thoth and then the capital of Atlantis. Chapter 5, the original Africa. So I'm about to be on chapter 5. I'm on chapter 4 right now. Chapter 6, the superior British Isles, Ireland, Scotland. Algonquin is the ancient Egyptian in origin. See, that's Prester John in his Fountain of Youth. That's chapter 7. Chapter 8, Mexico is Southern Arabia. Chapter 9, Jerusalem was in America. 10, Mexico is the birthplace of Hinduism and Buddhism.
Jesus Christ. Like, why can't America just be America? It's
Exactly.
like, it's like,
You
like
mixing
this is
adult.
wild to me. Like this
Yeah.
conversation always, it puzzles the shit out of me because there's no evidence for that. And I can understand people saying the terrain, but why can't America just be America? Why can't Kansas just be Kansas?
Right.
Why can't the Mississippi just be the Mississippi? It's like it erases that entire thing. So when people try to mix that in what we're discussing, it just confuses the messaging.
For sure.
And so I never understand that part. And it's very clear that these people have never traveled to a lot of these areas. But for me, I'm just gonna say for me, it might make sense to others, but for me, it doesn't make sense. America's America, Missouri is Missouri, Mississippi's Mississippi. And can we just leave it at that?
They may use similar symbolisms like a bird or it's a snake or something like that, but these are totally different.
Somebody gotta take one for the team, so I'm just gonna. Somebody gotta take one for the team. I'm just trying to check out.
Yeah, but what is the basis for a lot of this outside? Like these are names. Like these are all names that society and
for sure. Y'all know how
people get.
Y'all know how. Y'all know how I feel about it. I'm just reading it because it's actually interesting. Like his occult stuff. When he talks about spirituality and occultism, I do like that. But yeah, it's just see where he's getting at. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like people that come from that perspective, like I'm sure you know, but like it's like that all the places that they're associating as like, like let's say like biblical places and different things like that is really over here. And they're trying to associate it with Africa. Like for example, right? I'm not sure if y'all follow Rashad, but he showed me how he said that
Rashad Poet.
Yeah,
I was going to say Rashad Jamal.
No. Yeah, Rashad Poet. But yeah, he showed me how he said that the Colorado River, because Colorado is really close to color red, and how that river is actually the Red Sea, I think it's the Red Sea. Yeah, and then if you look at the state flag,
Sea.
Yeah, look, yep, exactly. And look, if you look, it's crazy. If you look at the state flag, it's actually a Red Sea, like a literal Red Sea.
For sure.
The
I'll be
Red
reading.
Sea?
I'll be right. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, what'd you say, Lila?
What flag is the Red Sea?
The Colorado state flag. Like if you look at it, they have a C, but they put the C in red. Like you think that's a coincidence that they literally made the state flag a red C?
But yeah, this how.
What?
But
It's a red and the letter C, and you think that means the sea, like a body of water?
Red Sea. Yeah.
let me see,
I want y'all to
Colorado.
stop playing with me.
Let me look at it.
So the Mississippi is the Mississippi, and the Nile is the Nile. Okay.
Somewhere.
Okay. The Red Sea is the Red Sea, and Lake Michigan and Lake
It's
Superior
like-
and Lake Erie are those lakes. Okay.
Well, but
Like,
I
what are y'all
Americans should
saying?
study
Like,
more
y'all
about
are
that.
this is why this message gets so distorted.
Yeah.
Like, leave it alone. Like, what's really happening there is that they are embarrassed to admit that their deities had no knowledge of the Americas. Whatever deity you worship, whatever biblical fairy tales you submit yourself to, your God had no comprehension of the Americas. Your God did not know America exists, and a lot of people are embarrassed by that. That the deity that you worship, yes, your deity had no knowledge of God. Your God had no knowledge of the Americas. That's what it really boils down
Cool,
to.
because he be cooking.
who she? You talking to me?
Somebody that believes that is having a hard time in cognitive dissonance.
Wait,
Your
what
God
happened? I'm
had
sorry,
no
I had
knowledge
just
of the
came back.
Americas. Your ancients, your gods, whatever, had no knowledge of America. That's it. That's all it boils down to.
Basically, Receipt, we was talking about how like because she was like, why can't America just be America? Like why did he have to name that book the original like America's the original Africa? And I said it's because they're trying to associate places that they talk about in biblical times that was actually here over there. And he's basically saying like all those places is over here. And then I talked about the Red Sea and how I say the Colorado River is is the allegory of it is the Red Sea. You know what I'm saying? Like in the Bible, and how this Colorado state flag is a literal Red Sea. And then she said basically like what you had
Like trekked along the Colorado River and then went and compared to what they call the Red Sea. A river and a sea is not the same type of body of water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I would say to what Lila is saying, why don't Black Americans study it more up on indigenous American deities and creation myths, stuff like that?
I'm actually writing a book on that. I'm about to finish. I gotta finish up my book. I actually write because we got the oldest creation story in the world. The only other people that talk about this creation story is the Aboriginal Australians. So yeah, for sure. But I read these books. I read a bunch of books I don't agree with all the time, just so I can attack people's points. That's all.
There's a book. There's a book from the 1700s. It's on archive. It's called The History of the American Indians, particularly of the tribes of Virginia, North and South Carolina, Florida, West. I think it said West and East Florida. And then it also said, I think like Alabama, Mississippi. But yeah, you should check that book out. I could
send it. Yeah, send it to me. Yeah, send it to me.
Okay.
Because I got a bunch. Because I read that what that Black Slaves Indians Masters book. That shit was a bunch of that had a bunch of malarkey in it. I read that YK the Truth's book.
Oh, I read that shit too. It was a confession of his own self-hatred.
Yeah, I read that shit. Like
he was galloping a whole lot, talking about people on the internet rather than sticking to the point of the subject, which is proving if we are pretendians or not, which he did not.
Yeah, I was like, reading that book, I was like, let me just see where people coming from. So if I ever come across them or people that think like them, that reference these talking points that these folks have, I could just be like, all right, I can go straight to it.
And he over here tap dancing for Walter's trying to promote quote unquote black $5 Indian myth.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like reading too. I just be like reading. I just like I like reading. I read all types of things. And just see where.
Send me that book too. I would like to read that book too, the one that you just mentioned.
What Grandma Says, The Rise of the Black Internet Pretendian.
No, the one that you said where it had like all the different tribes and everything in it.
The Black
OG.
Masters, Red.
No, she's talking about what OG said. The book OG talking about.
Yeah, OG, can you send that to me because I'm reading this book, but I read before I go to bed.
Yeah, let me send it to both of y'all right now. Hold on.
For sure, appreciate it. Yeah, I was about to say I'm getting back on my reading too, and I was like, we need more of our people writing our stories too. Like that's why I was like, shit, fuck, I'm gonna make our book. I'm gonna make a book. I'm gonna make a spirituality book.
Not just like writing. I want to make a movie. I want to make video games too.
That's because we need more of our narrative in books. I'll say that, and in TV and in movies and in all types of things. I will say that. So we'll have to resort to fucking Moors telling our Indian stories. Like, what are we talking about?
Mixing the dope, talking about Asians. Anchor Watt was here.
Like
was here. Moors, Atlanteans, Mu, and Homicellas.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie. I will say that book that I just sent to them, it does say in the book that some of the languages that some of the American Indians are speaking had the very same idiom of Hebrew.
Oh, brother.
And since you mentioned that, you ever play Wolfenstein where they had this small hat character talk about, we were inventing things in the Americas underwater. They have you play a whole mission where you go under a submarine and they have like
Kulamatiak. Boy, my bad.
Technology, sci-fi technology like armor and stuff like that built inside of like a submarine base or something like that.
So why, when they say that they're similar words into Native American languages or tongue, for one, they're not specifying which tribe because tribes speak different languages, and then they're never giving us those keywords. So the same thing with the Ghanaians when they say they have words associated with the Gullah Geechee, and so I always say, okay, which word? For example, like give me a word of how, like, even if the word is the same, it has the same definition, and they never can. So people just are always saying things, but when we ask for proof, it doesn't match. So when people saying that these words line up with Hebrew, which particular tribe, and then which words to be exact, and do they even have the same definition? Like, we need some critical thinking.
They try to tie that Hebrew stuff with your tribe.
Figure out which words.
Right.
Because I mean, it's one thing to say, because for me, the way language was structured, I can understand that there may be some things in common, but I mean, we could go down it. I mean, we have our definitions. We know how to pronounce our words. We know how to write the language as best we can on these keyboards, like the Cherokee keyboard on our keypad on our phones. It doesn't have all of the letters or the syllabary, but for me, these things are not. So if I don't know if anybody in the audience has seen any similarities, or you feel that way, that Hebrew has anything in common with, for example, Chalagi, but please show me which words are in common. Like, because we have time to like sit here and research this. Like, this is leisure.
For sure. I will say, since I do speak Algonquin, it linguistically, at least, is linguistically similar to Arabic and Amharic and stuff like that, and Hebrew, linguistically. But would I say it's Hebrew and all that? Nope.
You know it's crazy, Darvid. Like where.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
It's not letting me sing anything.
Got it. I just want to say this real quick. My joke, like 10 seconds. All I want to say was, oh, thank you so much. My bad. But all I wanted to say was, this place out here where I live at, right? I pass by the sign on the freeway like every week, and something just told me, I was like, man, what is this word? I look it up. It's an Algonquin word. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Yeah, go ahead, God. It's my bad.
Okay. You send me your email through Discord or something.
too big.
It's 300 and some pages. But I'm just sharing. I mean, I'm sharing the whole thing to you. The whole.
Yeah, it's probably the size is probably too big. Yeah, I'll send you my email.
Okay.
Yeah, because Discord, you got to upgrade to get bigger, like more space to send shit on Discord.
I'm paying $10 for that shit. Just saying.
But yeah, Algonquin supremacy. Y'all know he was everywhere. Algonquin was everywhere. Algonquin supremacy.
Did you send it to me?
Yeah, it's on this. I just sent it to you. Yup. Algonquin supremacy, baby. Go ahead, Misty. Misty.
Well, my name is Derek. I'm a black man.
But okay.
Yeah. This on my Wi-Fi. I borrowed somebody's phone. Well, anyway, yeah. So I'm from East Tennessee, right? This is Cherokee land.
Mm-hmm.
So, but my mother is Blackfoot. My father, on his mother's side, is Cherokee, and then I'm Gullah Geechee. Okay. So, from my understanding, I'm not saying I don't have African traits or whatever, but I'm in the process of understanding that right now. So for me, I identify myself as Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what my father would identify himself, unless he went by his father's, and then I'll be Gullah Geechee, right? So I don't believe that we ever left. I don't believe that anybody with fur on their head is original man.
Yo, you saying this with your profile picture? That's kind of hilarious.
That is hilarious. But yeah, this white girl stuff right here. But yeah.
What YT girl let you hold their account?
Well, see, I'm going through some shit right now. I had to throw away my phone because I'm going through some legal shit right now. So I don't have a phone.
Okay.
And yeah. So therefore, nothing connected to me. But yeah. But anyway, it goes. See, from my understanding, and my soul tells me this: whenever we were at war with the so-called Spaniards or whatever, because that's pretty much what everybody is outside of us. Okay, we went to a dinner. All the warriors got it on Thanksgiving. We got invited to cease the war. Then they cut all our heads off, as in our past or our ancestors, whatever you want to say. And then they R-worded the women and stole the children and gave them our identity. But the only reason why they did that because they can whitewash them. See, if a white man mixed with a mixed breed, he becomes white again. But also, I believe that they can't what can I say, reincarnate without having our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about reincarnation with someone's DNA? Is that your girlfriend, Misty Black? Is that your girlfriend?
Hell no.
Oh God. Do you have? did you procreate with the Becky Karen?
I did procreate with a white girl.
Mm-hmm. Okay. See, that's the reincarnation. So they got you. So all the stuff you're talking about. So all the stuff you're talking about, you perpetuate because you are who your mother is. And so that baby belonged to that woman. And so the thing is, you helping to further along. But for some reason, y'all think that that's a godly act to have these seeds planted all over various wombs.
Okay, let me explain myself. Now, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. You hear me? I'm not saying I'm not. See, I didn't understand these things till one day when I took shrooms and my ancestors came to me and was like, we were never supposed to come into them. And I felt ashamed and dirty and everything else. But I had my baby when I was 19. I'm 38 years old.
Okay, that was half your life ago. All right.
Yeah, so I didn't know no better. And then I was in foster homes and everything else. So I would look for anything to love me at that point in time. You get what I'm saying?
Sure. All right.
But me now, I don't mess with white girls like that.
So we gotta play that Malcolm X. The black woman is the most disrespected woman in America.
I just told you why I got this
Don't
now.
go
Off
there.
topic
You
though.
on Misty's account right now.
Listen now, leave him
I
alone.
just told you. I just told you.
Look,
I just told you.
Well, I'm like, hold on. Hold on.
Leave him alone now. He said he don't message in Forbidden Fruit so much.
I was Joan
Hold
of
on,
Arc.
you
and
gotta
I
play
was-
that Malcolm X.
Now
Hold
listen.
on.
See, I'm
Hey,
the type person that I can take
Hold
it
on.
and I can
Darby,
give
I
it,
sent
but
it.
I'm expressing myself. I didn't understand at first. Now the reason why I got this phone is because it was a phone somebody let me use, so therefore I can use it on Wi-Fi. I can't have nothing attached to my name. I'm going through legal shit.
Was
So-
it genocide? No, I'm just
Hell
playing.
yeah, with genocide.
Hey, yo. Drop some fruits in the chat, yo. Drop some fruits in the chat.
Go ahead,
What the fuck is
man.
going on?
But real
Mess with the
talk though.
Forbidden Fruit.
So yes, I did. Yes, I did. I made it with an animal.
Oh no.
Oh,
My
brother.
name
Hey, it is what it is. I'm admitting.
Her name was Jenny. No, I'm just playing.
Damn.
I should let her jump off the bridge, huh?
Hey, what the? All right. Yeah, this is getting
Yeah.
dark. This is getting dark very fast.
My name is Vicky Valancourt.
And I love them too.
Hey, yo.
Hey, but anyway,
Hey man,
like I was
why you
saying,
calling them animals?
because they are animals.
Why? I said why.
Okay, for one,
Have you ever seen one? Let me show you.
yeah. For one,
No, we got to use science, right? We got to use science and
okay,
evidence.
I'm
I'm
breaking
asking
it
directly
down.
why.
Because my brother is a chemist, right? So he's studying to be a science. So when me and him went to the same college, I was in civil engineering.
Give me the short version. Why are they animals? The short version.
Okay, for one, because they have Neanderthal DNA. For two, they got the same thing on their head that the animal has on its back. So therefore, it's an animal. Nothing has fur that's originated. You have to understand that. That's as simple as I can put it. Now, with them having Neanderthal DNA,
They don't have fur.
They don't?
No.
Yes, they do.
And they got that
Hold
straight
on, yes,
hair
they
from
do. Hold
the
on,
black group.
Ricky. Hold on, Ricky. That is definitely fur. It is capable of producing maggot louse.
Yeah.
Okay. It does not have energy capabilities as a kinky, coily strand of melanated hair coming from the neuromelanated scalp. It's
Well,
flat. It has no energy. It doesn't defy gravity. So
Right.
absolutely, it is a breeding ground for insexuals. Okay.
Yeah, but I also want you to understand this. They have sulfur in their hair. Now,
It's a sulfur base.
Yeah, exactly. If me and you
And it gives
was
off
to
the
go to-
smell of wet canine upon
Because-
contact with water.
simply because they're animals. This is the same reason why they don't want to find the AKA Bigfoot. That sounds stupid, but if they
But Misty, for
Yeah.
this conversation and to not compromise our brother's account here,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have
please.
to refer to these people as such.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
Homo neanderthalenses is a proper term, but
All right.
dehumanizing is just it should
Yeah,
not
it's not.
be
Yeah,
tolerated.
thank you for the
This is-
disclaimer.
Yeah, this is not.
Thank you for giving me the understanding. Now
Yeah,
I'm
but
learning as I go.
absolutely, if we're gonna come from a scientific standpoint, you got to
Right.
understand that flat, low energy, capable of producing parasitic louse, maggot louse,
Yes.
that is ungodly.
Yes, it is. It is. See, I didn't understand that.
Missy, can we hear from Rooney Rick on this one? And he's defending the limp fur parasitic capable producing hair that he calls it hair, but we refer to as fur.
Yeah.
Rooney Rick, you want to defend Homo neanderthalenses here and the maggot louse that excretes from the scalp? Let me invite you to unmute your mic, Rooney Rick. You want to defend that?
It's not about defending them. It's about evidence. That hair was.
What can you give us about the evidence of
I'm trying to explain
capabilities
right
of
now.
producing
Y'all
maggot
hear me?
lice?
Yeah,
Can
put
y'all
me
hear
on
me?
the screen.
Yeah,
Okay, so explain to me the capability of producing maggot lice.
I'm
because
not going
I
to
don't.
directly answer that question. I'm going to answer the overall question.
You put me on
The
the screen.
hair that you're talking about was inherited by black groups. Those white people didn't get that white hair, that type of hair on their
I'm
own.
not sure why you
It's
think
actually
why I'm not sure why you think any melanated civilization produced Homo neanderthalenses. That's the false concept that we all derive from just
That's
one.
not, it's not false at all.
Yeah,
you keep
no, they don't
interrupting
come.
me,
Homo
but what I'm saying
Neanderthal
is
is not a
actually correct.
derivative of
It is a
Neanderthals
melanated
were human.
civilization.
gene. It is a spliced gene. They are
It's
spliced.
a genetic
No,
mutation.
no, they're not. There is no evidence that they're spliced.
Okay. Let me tell
And
you
there's
this.
no evidence they all come from the same womb.
Yes. Okay. Let me.
There is evidence. Yes, there is evidence. It's genetic evidence.
What her name was?
Yes, it is.
What's her name was? What her name was?
Also,
And what?
it ain't
Let me guess,
about
she came from
the
Africa.
name. It's about
Let
the
me guess.
mitochondrial genetics, and it's about
So
the
let me
genome.
guess.
We
Homo
know for sure that they're
Neanderthal,
human because they have a human genome.
Homo Neanderthal, who has no remnants in the Americas, no bones, no fossil remains,
Y'all
no
keep muting me
connection
when
to
I'm
the
trying to
Americas.
talk.
So I'm going to assume that this came from Northeast Africa.
Why do
some
y'all keep
womb-
muting me while I'm trying to
Some
talk?
womb from Northeast Africa.
It might be your Wi-Fi.
Answer the question. No, it's not. Y'all keep muting me.
I can't mute you.
Somebody's muting me.
Let him
and it's
defend
rude.
cousin it right quick.
Yeah,
I didn't say y'all not listening.
Okay,
Y'all not
come on.
listening.
Come on with it.
And I don't appreciate that at all. I didn't say I was defending them. I'm talking about science. And yes, I can name plenty of black groups that have straight hair to this day. The Indians still have straight hair.
And
like
they
the black people from India. So I'm not sure why you're calling that fur. There are no white phenotypes. Listen to me. Listen to me now. There are no white phenotypes that are exclusive to white.
Were inherited from them from earlier black groups. You can look up somebody called Konstiki Man, K2 man.
The earliest genome we have with all of the genes for a white person, but he's a black too. Konstiki Man.
Rooney, what year was he born?
They found him 35,000
So Homo
years ago.
Neanderthal is at least about 200,000.
He's not a Neanderthal. Did you hear what I just said?
So,
I said
so
he's
you
a
think
black
that
man.
this man from 30,000 years ago is what produced Homo Neanderthal?
You're not listening to me.
So you name some random person. I don't know and where did they find his bones?
In Russia.
So you think that's the creation story for Homo Neanderthal?
I don't know. I don't think anything. I'm telling you.
You
what
just
it
made a
is.
false
He
correlation.
is a black person. I didn't make up anything.
The audience.
He is a black person with all
what
of the
does that have to
genes
do with
for
Homo
white
Neanderthal?
people.
What does that have to do with Homo Neanderthal?
I'm not talking about Homo Neanderthal.
We're talking about Homo Neanderthal.
White
Be
people.
quiet. You don't know what you're talking about. Be quiet. Just next conversation.
Yeah.
There's no correlation.
Did you want to? Did you come up?
No,
here
I
for-
know exactly what I'm talking about. You ain't about to dismiss the truth.
I'm about to read. Hold on 1 second. I'm about to read.
Genesis for Homo Neanderthal.
All right, for sure. Roland,
Man.
do you want to answer the title at hand? The question.
Absolutely. Yes, they were melanated. All humans were melanated until very recently. Like that's why you could look up scientists still questioning to this day why the ancient natives look different from the modern natives. They're still asking that question today. And they openly admit, even the Latin scientists, even the Latino scientists, they admit that the earlier skeletons and everything match what you would call people from Africa or people from Polynesia, stuff like that today. So yeah, there's absolutely no doubt that most of the original natives were black or on the spectrum of dark skin.
No, can I get back to big screen? Because
All right,
I
go
need
ahead.
to show something. Okay, so I'm gonna flip through a few, right? Because to be honest with you, he does have some correctness. All right, but let's just look at these phenotypes, all right? These are not paintings or drawings, they are actual photos, images. Okay, right? Let's keep going. We got Buddy right here. Okay. Now, let's get into something very interesting. The original Neanderthals were melanated. I have a few other images. I'm gonna keep going. TikTok, this is no hate speech, bullying, harassment, discrimination. This is an 18 plus panel. Y'all continue to tap the screen, put some fruits in the chat.
Hey, can I add to that caption right there to that dude you just saw?
I'm gonna show you this one. Go ahead.
That proves that in the bottom left right there, that proves that Neanderthals were just human. When they first found him in Morocco, they didn't know if he was a Neanderthal or if he was a human. He had types for both. It was completely confusing. So after all of that, all of the analysis, because they originally thought that Neanderthal had some exclusive features that made them separate. But when they found him, they realized that Neanderthal, the phenotype of Neanderthal, falls within the human spectrum. So yes, the original Neanderthals were black, and yes, they were human.
That makes them.
Hold on.
That's
Can I
not what makes
add?
them Neanderthal. Those are
add?
not Neanderthals we're looking at here.
Let me add
Having
to
a
it.
beard and
Now,
bushy, kinky, coily hair does not make for a Neanderthal.
Hold on, let me add to this, because when it comes to this subject, over almost 30 years experience, knowledge of this. We understand Neanderthals and stuff came around the times of humans. Humans are equal to the term of Homo sapien, Homo erectus. If you look up the root meaning of HOMO, it means yoked or same, which means your parents share the same genetics. Not only that, when you lay with this word, I'm gonna put in the chat because I can't say it. When you lay with these, it releases parasites that can affect your partner and your offspring. This is where you get horns, tails, fur, things of sorts. Now, when you say that all humans and Homo sapiens and Homo erectus, that's not us. That is them.
You don't have any scientific basis to say that.
So I do have that. So that's why I'm on the screen.
Receipt.
Now, when you look up,
go
ahead.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to add to what you're saying real quick. 10 seconds. All I want to say was, you was talking about the origin of the word HOMO, but if you look up the word Homo sapien, the origin of it, it tells you to see the word homunculus, right? So when you go to the word homunculus, it says an artificial person. So why would these people? Yeah,
basically what makes a person an artificial person is basically an understanding of a demigod. And I'm giving you this term because I'm giving you this term in so much of a layman's term. A demigod is a half human, half God. When you lay within your own bloodline, you literally self-calcify your pineal gland when it comes to your offspring. That's why some people need to be taught not to, devour, your KIDSs, and you need to be taught not to unalive your parents and stuff like that. TikTok is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Put some fruits in the chat. So we don't need that. We are born with the essence in us. I don't have no admixtures. An admixture is another way of saying basically the when you go against the divine order, that means parent, child, siblings, first cousins, second cousins, auntie, uncle, grandparents. When you do that shit, you fuck your own bloodline up. Now, when you look up what is the leading cause of recessive genetics, it is linked to INCEST, period. That's where you get webbed feet, horns, tails.
What does that have to do with them being animals?
So basically, excuse me?
What does that have to do with them being animals?
What do you mean, what does that have to do?
I'm saying, like, what does that have to do with them not being?
Neanderthal is a subhuman subspecies. Homo neanderthalis.
Right, which means when you create recessive genetics, they cannot absorb the sun.
But you know that most human groups have recessive genetics, though, right? You know that
that's
even
not the
black
same
groups have
thing. You're
recessive
not understanding
genetics.
what I'm saying. So stop, please, because unless you got receipts,
I'm not stopping. I'm asking you questions.
You have to stop. I'm going to answer your question. and you don't even have a question, you have a statement. So what I'm saying is this.
No, I did ask you a question. I said, right? I said, did you know that is a
I don't tongue wrestle with men. Stop cutting me off. What is the problem?
You were wrong. I asked you.
The woman is speaking, and he can't respect that.
And then the fact that
he's here to defend the Neanderthal.
Is wild.
He's
He's
here
talking
to
about I'm
defend the
wrong.
Neanderthal.
But you said he getting off your mute, and I'm trying to explain. You asked me a
Because
question.
you're going to stop muting me. We all can talk.
That's simple. It's simple.
Goofy.
It's simple.
Boy,
Mama
he
beat
trying
me
to
to the
defend
punch.
that white tea mayonnaise.
Hey, yo.
Woo, Lord.
Take that whatever that he's here to defend Neanderthals.
Yeah.
That shit is literally capable of producing parasites. That ain't got shit to do with us. We ain't nowhere close to that. I don't care what nobody says.
I try to tell the truth, but he didn't want to hear it.
That's wild.
All righty then.
He was
Well,
there to say
next
they are not
topic.
excreting parasites. What the hell that got to do with anything?
They are
All
simply
these
a
false
parasite.
correlations.
But then sit up there with no profile pic. He got a fake profile, and then you up here talking stuff. You're not gonna pull up no receipts. So stop it. Everything I'm saying out of my mouth, I'm showing you receipts, and I have more to look up. That's
Hold on. And that disorder is called
Lord.
hypotrichosis.
But yeah, we can
put him on
move
this
on.
one.
Yeah, we
What is
can.
this?
What the hell was that?
Hold on, you can't put up no kids, bro.
That's me. That's when I was.
I know,
with
but
you. That's where I was born. At.
Oh.
That's my house. That's my old house. Look, that's my old crib. Man. I used to live right in that little house.
So what? Basically, what I'm saying is, I admitted I broke universal law, but didn't understand it.
All right, let's move on. Let's get back to the topic. Go ahead.
I'm gonna end it by saying this: ain't no way that any goddess on this panel gonna produce these images that I just had up. So let me keep going. Okay, so where the stop, I'm trying.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so we're the first Americans. Yes, they were. I mean, that is a very simple answer. Were we yeah, I don't like to use the term flag, but yes, my hair, yeah. Maybe like a number 2.
Okay. But see, I didn't understand all that before I did what I did. You know what I'm saying? And I would blame it because I was ignorant and I was young and I was dumb.
All right,
but I won't do
get.
it again.
All right, we get it.
We
Something that gotta be explained. We get it, bro.
Yeah,
You gotta let it go. I know it hurt.
Yeah.
You gotta let it go.
You gotta let it go.
No, Jenny.
Name is Jenny.
Yo.
See, I ain't gonna argue with you. I'm waiting on it.
Hey, anybody of opposition in the stage want to come up? If we got any ops in the building, anybody in the chat's talking shit, invite them up.
What's going on, soul?
What's up? Yeah.
Man.
Oh, y'all
We're
know
the
each
first
other?
Americans, black and melanated. Are we talking about Mesoamerica? Mesoamerica?
We talking about America.
Like, but what era of America? Like
America.
Yeah,
Where's that flag from?
Americas,
Where's that
Yes,
flag?
we Americas.
I'm not familiar with the third world nation flags. Which flag is that?
Third world.
Colombia.
Whoa! Don't stop with the disrespect, fam. We
my
third
bad.
world, but we
What's the
love
name of
each
that
other
country,
way
though?
more than y'all do yourselves. Come on.
No,
You're
it's okay.
third world.
What's the
You're
name of the
offended.
flag?
Y'all don't love yourselves in America.
Yeah, you just admitted to being third world, so I was correct. So that's Colombia.
What? Yeah,
okay.
man, definitely. I
Okay,
can show
great.
you
Thank
third
you,
world.
thank you,
Look, right
Colombiano.
there. That's
Thank
third
you,
world.
Colombiano.
Yeah.
Thank you, Colombiano.
Look at my crib.
And we working on it. So therefore, you know what I'm saying?
Chill, he gonna kick us off the panel. Hey, what country is that? What's his name? So, what's the country of your flag?
It's Colombia.
Oh, Colombia.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, just get close. You might be. No, I'm saying.
Why you still got the hypo trichosis still up?
He just fell off the line, cuz, on everything.
He said he go. Boy. But no, we ain't got no ops right now. Where the smoke at? Or is this
Wi-Fi ran out, it's glitching. I'm trying to bring some more people up, but we have
we
Philip
got Philip.
on the
What's
panel
up?
now.
What's up, Philip?
Hello, hey, my name is Philip. I'm from the Muskogee Nation of Oklahoma.
You the ones that burned down Tulsa and then took people's identity.
So no, what you're talking about? You're
These
talking
are the
about those Tulsa race
Scandinavians.
riots.
This is when
This-
we said
Oh, wow, so I
Neanderthal.
get up
it
here
will
and
appear.
already I'm being attacked, and you're not even going to let me talk.
You straight
wanna
up
say that you're
Scandinavian. You claiming
Wow.
Muskogee?
So,
Who put
okay,
you on the Trail of Tears?
I don't
Philip?
claim Muskogee. My
Philip, there's a
family
story
came
in
here
the
on the
Cherokee
trailer.
Phoenix. You can look it up online. It talked about the black belt. It talked about the Muskogee, especially how your Scandinavian parents and grandparents would chain these people up in their homes, would literally ransack through their documents and all the identity theft. They literally called it identity theft in the Cherokee Phoenix.
And guess what? They were singing this song. What it is he good for? Absolutely nothing.
So I'm gonna ask Philip, where did your people start on the Trail of Tears to end up in Muskogee Nation, Oklahoma? Where was your starting point on the Trail of Tears for your ancestors? Because you definitely up in those offices in Oklahoma. We're working all the paperwork, administration. Yeah, y'all the ones that burned down Tulsa.
Yeah. Because I know where mine started at, and I'm still here.
Uh-oh. Cat got his phone?
Wait, he's muted.
Is he that?
I got that. I guess I got muted.
Yeah.
So, again, the Tulsa riots happened, and I'm not trying to come
What's
up
up?
here
Hey,
and say
Rudy.
that they didn't happen.
No,
but
right?
my
It was a
nation-
massacre. It was a massacre.
Yes, it
First time they
was.
drop a
But
bomb
my
on us.
nation had nothing to do with
Yeah,
that. That
so
had nothing to do with the
Tulsa
Native
is
Nations.
Muskogee territory.
Yes,
Tulsa
it
is Muskogee territory.
Yes, it is. I am
So
a
your
citizen of the
Scandinavian
Muskogee Nation.
ancestors,
Not a
that's how
Scandinavian.
white
Honey,
supremacy
how are you
was
going
able
to sit here and try and get somebody up
You're
here
a
to
whole
talk to you
Scandinavian
when you're
Homo
not even
Neanderthal.
listening to
Let him
anybody?
talk. Let him talk. Let him
Stop
talk.
attacking and fucking listen to somebody.
Hey,
Yeah.
oh,
Because
watch
all
your
I hear is
hey,
ignorance.
hey, watch your tone real quick. Watch your tone. Mm-mm.
Let him speak.
Yeah, I love to speak, but you gotta watch his motherfucking tone.
Okay.
That burned down Tulsa.
Oh, brother.
Well, I just want to know if he's gonna admit it being a mixed breed. That's all I'm here for.
You won't even let someone
Mixed.
talk.
These are straight
Let him finish.
Scandinavians. Okay, these are straight Scandinavians.
Again,
Go ahead,
you're not
Philip.
going to let anyone
ahead.
talk.
Go ahead,
You're
Phil.
not
Go ahead,
even
Philip.
real. You're not
Go
going to
ahead.
come
Go
up
ahead.
here and be
Go
real
ahead.
about it.
If you shut the
Philip.
fuck up and go ahead, we let you talk, nigga.
Philip, just
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Philip.
Shut the
So I'm not here to debate whether the Tulsa massacre was a massacre or not, or didn't happen. All I know is that had nothing to do with my nation. Think that you're doing something good when in turn it's actually causing other harm. It's nothing to do with race. You can be black and you can be a Native American. We do not discriminate against that. If your ancestors come from Americas, and you have that bloodline that you can show, ain't nobody going to stop you from becoming a citizen in the nation.
Well, see that
But the
they're
thing-
not gonna be able to stop us. Period. Cause we are the pure blood. So they're not gonna be able to stop us. Period.
Okay, but
Yeah.
let me ask you something. Do you have evidence of that doesn't involve eugenics?
Genetics?
No, eugenics.
Eugenics.
Okay. No,
Do you
I
have
don't.
anything other than eugenics?
So hold on,
Genealogy,
Misty.
that
Hold
is
on,
what
real
we
quick,
got.
Misty. Hold on. let me
Okay,
get on.
genealogy only goes so far.
So fill
So-
up. My people on
What are
Muskogee
you talking about?
territory.
Philip? Are you talking about like DNA test?
No, he's talking about
I'm not talking
genealogical
about DNA
records,
tests.
DAWS rolls.
It only goes
I'm
to
not talking about the
1700s.
Dawes rolls. I'm
Well,
not
then
talking about
my
the
thing is
Dawes
this,
rolls
Philip.
either.
I asked you a question at the top of this broadcast because we know the Muskogee resettled, and ended up in Oklahoma. So where did your ancestors start? I asked you at the top of when you joined the panel. I let you
Alabama.
up. Alabama.
Big
Okay.
Springs, Alabama.
What year?
My family's from the tribal town. 1800s.
What
I'm
what,
not
what
gonna-
part of the 1800s? When in the 1800s?
Antebellum
I'm not gonna be able
or
to give you the exact
postbellum?
number
So, because you
right
just
now.
talked about heritage genealogical records, so your people ended up in Alabama. When did your people get to Oklahoma?
Trail of Tears.
What year did your people get to Oklahoma and settle?
Okay, so my grandfather is James Roan Gregory. He is the chief, I mean not chief, the freaking judge of the Muskogee Nation in
He's
1901.
Scandinavian. When did
He's
your
not
people get?
Scandinavian. Why are
Yes,
you
yes,
attacking
you are.
him?
You're
Again,
Scandinavian. When
how?
did your people get
What's
to
the proof of you
Oklahoma?
being
I asked for a
Scandinavian? You know
year.
that there's
I didn't ask you
admixture.
about your ancestors' occupation, your elders, your grandparents'
1800s.
occupation. I asked you, when
You
did
just
your
want
people
dates.
on the Trail of Tears get to Oklahoma?
What year did yours? What year, like,
My
what
people
year-
were
you
in
guys are
it
asking
was
me a
called Indian
question.
Territory. It was called Indian Territory. When did
You're
your
saying
people
that
get to
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma?
Well, you know what?
Mm.
I can't give you an exact date of when my grandmother made it to Oklahoma on the Trail of Tears.
People were the one forcing people on the Trail of Tears. Your people were holding
No,
the
it
people at
wasn't,
pew
ma'am.
pew
That
points.
is so messed up to
You're
say.
the
Do you
ones
not
that
understand how
ran the people
racist
on
and
the
how messed up
outskirts
that
of
is?
town. Your people followed them
What are you talking
to the
about, ma'am?
outskirts of the
That is
boundaries of
that is
certain
so messed up.
townships.
You're
Yeah,
talking
we know
about
what
what
you
my
did,
family
Philip.
went through
Yeah,
as it's
I'm
some kind of
Muskogee.
joke.
I'm Muskogee descent. I'm Muskogee descent. We
Kiss
know
Jay,
what you
strong
did.
go. Come on.
We
Hey,
we
so
we,
speak
we
your
know what you
language.
did. We know what you
Speak your
did.
language.
I'm trying to
You said
understand how
you're
you
Muskogee.
retained the language if we were forced to assimilate. Show
Kiss
me,
Jay, strong go.
hold on, Philip.
Philip,
Show me a treaty written in Muskogean. Show me a treaty written in
How am I
Muskogee.
going to show you a treaty
Show
written in
me any of
Muskogee?
that.
We're
The
talking
reason,
right now
okay, so
on
the
an app.
reason they're always going back to the language because they forced our ancestors to assimilate. They speak English. Your people harass. There were lynchings in that area, the same area I'm talking about today. You
And I can
burned
create a
down
language.
Tulsa. You created massacres. You dropped bombs, and then when you finished with the people, you went and took their identity. There was no DMV to cross-verify. There was no validated information.
Hold on. So you're telling me that the Tulsa, Oklahoma thing that happened, they participated in it?
And then when they finish, they go to the tribal register. Because remember,
Like 7 countries.
the oil capital of the 20th century. So we were getting our land, we were getting our allotments, part of the Homestead Act. His people not liking that, and our people actually spoke up and said that Philip's people were claiming to be American Indian, and they were not. We petitioned, we complained. His people, his direct ancestors are the ones that did all that in 1920. But don't forget that there was also lynchings before that time. And now that Tulsa it has been decimated, it's never been rebuilt, it's never been returned. They own Black Wall Street right now. His ancestors
Can I say something real
using
quick?
Muscogean power.
But I don't want
I
you to
came
blame
up
it
for
all on
I
him.
came
You know,
up for
white
a
folks.
short period. Hold on one second.
He don't need you to defend him, Captain Saber, bro.
No. Hold on one second.
I don't have to defend them. I know what they are.
Pete, I came up here just to let y'all know Muskogee had nothing to do with the Trail of Tears contract. So he's up here capping his ass off. And by him even saying he's in Oklahoma and claiming Muskogee, like, dude, you got to do your research on your lies before you come around panels with people that actually live this research and know who they are. Like, you came up here with a totally fictitious lie out of thin air. Muskogee had nothing to do with the Trail of Tears and none of that stuff, bro. So why would you come up here and say you was on the Trail of Tears, you Muskogee, and you in Oklahoma? Dude, you got sent to Oklahoma in the 1900s. Stop playing. You talking about genealogy don't go back, you're a damn lie. I'm back over to 1212 right here in America. I got paperwork. I can go and turn my computer on right now, show you past 1500 right here in America, dude. So stop lying, Philip. You're up here capping for no reason, man. It don't make sense.
And mine only went back 1664, I think. But that's all I researched so far.
You talking about your genealogy don't go back that far. Y'all's don't. American people, the so-called black people, our stuff go back to the beginning, bro. We the one created the records. We created the Dawes Roads. We created all of these census. We created the cities and the states. We created the towns. We created architecture, mathematics. We created everything you use today, Philip.
Real quick, I'll put the name of the article in the chat. It's on the Cherokee Phoenix. If you just want to look up, it's called Indian Removal in the Southern Black Belt. It literally, the Cherokee Phoenix talks about how his ancestors would go into these people's homes, chain up the head of household, steal their documents. They create identity theft. And so when they talk about, when they talk about, I'm speaking, when they talk about the fact that we don't speak the language, all they did, they've always studied us. They studied our language and then forced us to speak English, assimilate, torturing families and children. So he knows what his ancestors did. So all of this is identity theft. But then they come in with their Scandinavian features, knowing that they people just got here around World War I, knowing that they just got here. And just like those Africans are coming over here and they get A1 priority visas and privileges and cash, his people the same way because they was giving out Indian land allotments. And furthermore, all this white supremacy, they actually using our ancestors' indigenous rights to build white supremacy. So he knows he looks just like Governor Stitt. Governor Stitt also claims to be Cherokee, but does everything within his power to disband. Their whole plan was to get into the tribes, infiltrate, and disrupt from within, break apart the organization. So he's saying what we're doing, we're bringing the nation back together because they finally need some legitimacy. Y'all been running amok within these nations. And so now it's time to get some stuff done for real. And I see y'all in the land patent offices. I see y'all in the county clerk records office in Oklahoma. Y'all always researching by somebody's name. Y'all go right back to the Indian offices of various tribes and y'all cosplay. Y'all create fake IDs. You kidnapping people, forcing them to have babies. Where all these kidnapped women, these Native American women. So it's well documented what you've done. But furthermore, like you cannot come up in here knowing damn well that your ancestors, what they did to Tulsa, and now you claim you own Greenwood, Archer, and Pine. Not a single black business on Black Wall Street as of today. And then when they were trying to rebuild after the massacres in the 1970s, you built an interstate through the community while they were trying to rebuild what you did in the 1920s. So
Dude,
no,
you're not even trying to be honest.
Your people are doing very well in Tulsa. North Tulsa, not so much.
What the hell are you talking about, man? Like,
Is
I'm
it
trying to come up here
Is it Lila or
respectful and
Lila?
being honest. And so
It's
far,
nothing in your DNA's ever been respectful.
Hey,
What
hold
you
on,
say,
Phillip.
Zoe? It's Lila.
Yeah. I'm talking to Lila.
racism and
chill out.
eugenics.
Yeah, the God and the
Well,
God is
y'all done, I
talking.
have a question for the
Hold on 1 second, Gia. Hold on 1 second, Gia. Lila, one thing that we all gotta understand, right, sis, is that when we be talking about our information, all these foreigners that be trying to attach themselves to American stuff, they forget that we are the home of the royal bloodlines. Like none of them ever talk about no royal connection, no nothing connecting to an empire or a megalithic structure. They all talk about what they found and where they moved to and where they migrated from to there. And none of them talk about their connection bloodlined to the royal people or the crest or the shields that exist or the flags that exist.
Y'all ain't
Like the
even
little
trying to be
kid came up
honest.
here with
I'm
the
out.
flag.
That's a
Phillip,
joke, dude.
bye,
Don't
Phillip.
leave. Don't leave. I got some
Goodbye.
questions.
Y'all need
I know,
help.
because
Y'all
you
need to
can't
serious.
answer that, can you, Phillip?
I
You
got
can't even, you won't even answer
my questions.
Let Erica go too.
I don't know. Can I ask you questions to
Yeah,
any
go
of
ahead.
y'all without being attacked?
Go ahead.
So far, everyone's been saying like you know, I don't know, like y'all's the first here in America. Okay, you do realize that there are bodies that have been found all over America, and they have actually tested the bodies and the human remains, ancient human remains from pre-Columbus. Can any of you show me a point anywhere where they have actually shown DNA evidence that supports your claim?
You can
Match
show
those
us.
ancient bones,
You
Homo
can show us.
Neanderthal. You don't
Right.
match those
Hold
bones.
on,
Are you talking about the
answer
Kennewick
him like
people?
that. Don't let him run.
I'm talking about the Muskogee. I'm talking about the bodies that was
Where did
pulled out.
Philip? Where did they find these Muskogee fossils? Where did they find these Muskogean fossils? What area?
Let's see, the mounds. You know, there's
Which
bodies in the
mounds?
mounds.
Which
All of
mounds?
the
There's mounds all throughout the
in
Americas. Which mounds?
Georgia. The Muskogee mounds in
Okay,
Georgia.
so you're saying your Homo neanderthalensis DNA matches that?
I'm talking Neanderthal.
No, I'm
See,
asking
that's
you.
what I'm saying. You're
Since
just
you want to do
attacking
DNA
people.
comparison,
You're not even trying to be honest.
I'm
You're not
asking, does
trying
your
to be
Homo
honest.
Neanderthal DNA
Oh,
match
my
the
mic
Muskogee fossil remains?
Kids, I'm done. You're not even trying to be honest.
Okay, can we ask some non-condescending questions? Like, it's really not that hard to ask questions without assaulting people. Like,
I'm
What's up,
done,
Rashad?
guys. You know, good luck to whatever it is that you're trying to figure out.
And does
I'm
your
out.
Scandinavian DNA match the
Scandinavian. So
I'm
you wouldn't have
asking, you're
proof of
asking
any
us
of
to
that.
match. I'm
You
asking,
understand
does
that
yours
admixtures
match?
happen,
Yeah,
right?
but we can't ask us,
We
we
need
can't match.
our first sweep of the day, baby. Yeah, whoa. It took how long it take? How long you been live? It took how long it take? And not 2 hours in. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad for the first sweep of the day. 2 hours in. But yeah, I haven't been as attentive at my phone, y'all. So I don't know what's going on. I haven't really been what's going on. I know I got my headphones still on. I ain't really been paying attention like that. But yeah, let's come through, yeah. Come through. I'll bring y'all back up.
I hope he's still back in here because I wanted to ask him some questions too. Because
I mean, I'll invite him back
said
up.
a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna answer that question because I was gonna tell them that the mounds they found us. That's why they stopped digging because they kept finding us.
It's Muskogean DNA, and it says they found it in the region of Oklahoma. So, okay, sure. They just say anything.
Probably listen to them.
It was just getting good. He's back.
They didn't find. They didn't find his DNA in the mound. They found ours. Just like with the Lucia that was found
Bro,
in
go ahead and
Brazil.
name that source. Hey, bud,
That
go ahead
was
and name
our
that source so I
skeleton.
can look
That
it up
was
real
our
quick.
skeleton. That was our skeleton. What I'm saying. Lucia, even in Dagon, Brazil, Lucia,
So
they
y'all
said
just
she was a Negro. They even made the bust of her fucking skull. She was a Negro.
okay, Philip, I have a question.
One mic. Y'all know y'all allowed it. Y'all know y'all allowed this shit in my ear. Like
Yeah,
one
can
mic.
I please ask this man a couple questions?
Yes,
Yeah,
Gia.
go ahead.
Gia. Anyway, I was gonna ask you a couple of questions, and they are very valid questions.
Yeah.
So, you guys are aware of who the freedmen people are, right?
Yes, I do. And I'm very happy that we have, you know, freedmen among us still yet.
Okay,
Because that was something that was very sad. That should never have happened.
Right,
But it did,
but
and that was forced onto the tribes. My
Okay.
grandfather was nominated.
Forced onto the tribes. What do you mean?
I highly disagree with that.
Yo, can we go on Showtime right quick? Because at least he'll have 5 minutes to talk, and we
No,
can.
because I'm trying to ask him some questions,
I ain't about to listen.
y'all.
Oh yeah, I'm not about to listen to y'all yap for 5 minutes. Hell no.
No,
We can
I'm
say
trying to
I'm not
ask him
about to-
some valid questions.
I just want him to explain the freedmen being forced onto the tribes. What exactly does he mean by that?
Damn.
He dropped. He gone.
So much.
Tyrone talking about a 5 minute showtime. You can do that on your live stream, Tyrone. You can. You say you can have 5.
Philip, get your ass back up here because I got questions.
A whole bunch of nothing. Literally.
Because he said some dumb shit right there because he know that they whole live got NAGPRA and BIA stuff that prevents them to research our stuff, what we're saying.
I mean, he's still in here, so I invited him up.
Questions regarding the freedmen.
Dude with that Colombian flag, man, he in the back chat like tripping like hell, like dude.
And I just want to say they always use indigenous rights, the rights of these American Indians, the natives, to assert white supremacy. They use it to own slaves. That's how they said, well, if the American Indians do it, it must be right. It must be okay. It must be justified. Then they come in here and say the Cherokee. So out of all the tribes, we don't talk about how the Apache owned slaves. We don't talk about Algonquin tribes up in the north or Iroquois. We don't talk about the Mohawk, the Navajo didn't own the Chumash, the Tonga. No other tribe. It's just the Lakota didn't own
ones
slaves.
that listen,
It's
the
just
ones
these
that.
5 centralized, assimilated, civilized tribes.
But the thing
Because
is,
they had to
the
use their
slaves.
identity to assert all this wrongdoing they were doing. So if the natives said it was okay, then it must be okay. That's how the white tees rose to supremacy using Native American rights.
Well, the white tea is the first Native American. People got to realize this. The white tea is the one that created the whole Native American, the Nativism Party. It was a guy named Louis Charles Levine. He was the first politician to ever be in office in America in 1858. So when they claim to have white tea, presidents, white tea, anything before 1858, instantly erase it. It's false. So then the Louis Charles Levine, he created the Know Nothing Party as well, led on to being the White Whigs and, people after that. But they the people that actually it was Germans that created the Nativism Party. When you guys get a chance, look up NAZI, Native. And when you look up that, then you'll see exactly what I'm saying. They was kicked out of Germany, kicked out of Europe, and then sent here. The same fake people that's acting as us today. They were in groups. Even some of the Asians that was in Germany at the time, they all was expelled for the same stuff. So y'all gotta look like into the stuff as far as the NAZI. That was the beginning of them pretending to be us.
I'm glad Lila caught on to that Scandinavian dude because they whole life cheated enrollment and preserved our language, but banned us from speaking our stuff and made us speak European English and
telling people speak English, they going back studying the syllabaries, learning the languages. And so are they coming here with all of this? We still are stuff, we still have our things intact. And I'm trying to figure out how, if there was forced assimilation.
Real languages.
Before they would call 5 civilized tribes, they call the 5 assimilated tribes.
Yep.
Not learning real languages. They have YT professors and people, archaeologists reconstruct languages and teach them what the language is.
But I also want to, can anybody, I haven't seen a single piece of evidence where they found any fossil remains and said, this is Muskogean. That does not exist. That does, and for him to say they found it in Georgia, I don't see that. I'm not seeing any
Mr. Edwards.
Who was Mr. Edwards?
At the
Y'all
time,
took, let me get it quick.
all of that stuff, the Muskogean didn't even exist at the time when he's talking about ancient relics being found in Alabama. The Muskogee was up in the north, up in Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana. I'm trying to figure out how did he ended up down to Oklahoma claiming to be on the Trail of Tears. And it was the Seminole, the Chickasaw, the Choctaw, the Creek, and the Cherokee. It had nothing to do with the Muskogee or the Iroquois or the Chippewa that was in the north. So that's why I came up here just because he kept saying he's Muskogee. I'm like, yo, dude, I'm in Michigan. The land of the Muskogee is up here, bro. Like they even got a place called Muskegon, named after the Muskogee in Michigan. So I'm like, he's lying.
Something, please, real quick, because this is the article I was referring to. The article is titled Indian Removal in the Southern Black Belt. If anybody understands history, they know the Black Belt. The removal of Native American tribes from their southeastern lands was not inevitable. At one point, Cherokee Nation Principal Chief John Ross believed there was a real chance for indigenous people to retain at least a part of their homeland east of the Mississippi River. In a recent presentation to the Trail of Tears Association, Dr. Claudio Sant, a Richard B. Russell professor in American history and co-director of the Center for Virtual History at the University of Georgia, asked this question.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Somebody's echoing, yeah.
Yeah, if removal wasn't, it was not inevitable. If removal was not inevitable, then why did it happen? And why specifically did politicians and Georgia politicians target the Cherokee so directly in the 1830s? So he's written a book on the subject titled Unworthy Republic, the Dispossession of Native Americans and the Road to Indian Territory. So he began with an overview of the situation around 1830, when there was between 80,000 and 100,000 indigenous people living in the United States. Of the so-called 5 tribes, the Seminoles still retain a large part of Central Florida, and the Muskogee Creek remained in Alabama. So I wasn't contesting that issue because he said his people started in Alabama. I was like, okay, cool. But they were the ones forcing the people on the edge of town. The Cherokee homeland still covered northern Georgia, northeast Alabama, western North Carolina, and eastern Tennessee. The Chickasaw and Choctaw tribes still had half of what is now present-day state of Mississippi. So I'll stop there, and I just wanted to point that out. So when I'm asking people, where did your ancestors on the Trail of Tears? He said Alabama. Okay, great. Now, when did your people get to Oklahoma? And that was the question I had for him, and he wasn't familiar. And then he was going into how one of his people were judges. And so my thing is this: if these people are in power, and you look like these people are in power, and we know Native American Indians were dispossessed, and here we are dispossessed, disinherited, disenfranchised. Like, how hard is it to make this correlation? That we were the ones, we are the offended party. We were the one infringed upon. These people were in power, and they used Muskogean, Cherokee
You know why?
infiltration to exact that power.
Hey, sis, you know how? Peep this. This is finna fuck people up. We are the original American natives. Now, when they realized that the American natives could be flipped, they flipped the name. And so now we got these people that's calling themselves native to our place, and we're the original American natives. When y'all look up that term, American people, which we're the autonomous people. When you get yourself in correct status and you're in correct standing as a state national, you're autonomous to that system. So your paperwork even says autonomous. It says autonomous. It also says sentient. So we got to realize, like, we are supreme beings to these people, and the documents say it.
More, because this article is fascinating. So it talks about the expulsion, and it just talked about how they tried. They said they've been trying since the top of the 19th century, but it was only it was not formally enacted until about the 1830s. So here's the expulsion. They said the law itself passed by Congress. It merely gave the president the authority to negotiate to exchange federal lands in the West with native lands in the East, and native peoples were not willing to leave their homes. And so Andrew Jackson threatened and coerced the native leaders to sign treaties. Because remember, they're leaders now. There's been so much intermarrying and race mixing. So now they are raising their white sons to be these native leaders. But either way, he threatened and coerced these native leaders to sign treaties ceding lands, often by making the situation so untenable. They could remain where they were. They could risk starving to, the point of being unalive, or they could take a chance walking hundreds of miles through hostile communities to distant and unknown lands in the West. But even after the formal settlement of these treaties, individual families had to be forced out of their homes. So an army of federal officers, unscrupulous speculators, and eventually actual soldiers did the job. The dispossession was swift and it was brutal. Creek people were impersonated to obtain title. This is in the Cherokee Phoenix in 2023. It says Creek people were impersonated to obtain title. And if that didn't work, speculators resorted to violence. They chained Creeks in a house and beat them until they put their marks on paper. Vast quantities of land changed hands in this way. In fact, some 2 million acres in the Creek Nation alone. So that's his people using indigenous rights. Those were the people that chained. It literally is talking about it in the Cherokee Phoenix. I mean, this is fascinating. And so then they talk about the black belt. Why they even called the black belt? Because the land was fertile. The land was black. It was fertile. So when we talk about the black belt in history, this is what we're talking about. But this is so deep. So I invite you all to just read the full article. But it talk about impersonation. So it's not like we're not making these claims.
But because I don't know, for whatever reason, I mean, I get access to the Cherokee Phoenix. I read this. This was mind blowing to me. It's wild. But they literally talked about chaining these people in their homes, impersonating them, do whatever they can to get them to make their marks on a piece of paper.
Be creative. Who we got new on the stage? What's up, David? What you got?
It's interesting you mentioned Claudio Sant because he's the main contributor to trying to erase Black American Indians. Like, for example, Mike TV, he presented his ancestor, Thomas Jefferson Harjo, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was literally a full-blooded Indian on paperwork, and they tried to reclassify him as a Negro. And this is critical because Claudio Sant, he double speaks and contradicts himself. He was on the Black Indians documentary with the James Earl Jones narrating, talking about Black Americans were intermingling with different tribes and thereafter colonialism and antebellum period. But then years later, he got on Henry Louis Gates's one of his documentaries talking about denying Black Indianness and Black Americans, claiming that we're looking for a superiority complex, or we're coping with an inferiority complex by not acknowledging alleged white grape, and we're ashamed of something.
These niggas sick as hell, boy.
Yeah, these people are weird. Like, they're sitting up here lying, ignoring the fact that we got maroon community fighters and people that rebelled against our slave masters, but we'll sit up here and say that we're ashamed of getting the genetics, but we know about how they genetics work, which genetics with these DNA tests, they only collected European saliva primarily. They don't have Indian genetics like that, so it was disingenuous for Philip to come up here and say, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Tyron and Darvish, y'all notice that we can show our ancestors and show pictures of our ancestors, and they never go to any pictures or photographs of their ancestors. Y'all notice that?
Yeah.
I
Anything.
wanted
They
to
just
say
say.
something too.
Go ahead.
I know David. I think that's his name, David. He's from Virginia, like me.
Darvid.
Sorry about that. Look, I messed the name up. You know, I'm from Virginia. I messed it up now.
I messed it up too first time on here.
So I just wanted to say this. When they do the DNA test, this is what I found that was strange too. The Africans that first came over here were from Angola. They came to Hampton, Virginia. I think they brought like 20 or 30 of them. I forgot what's the number.
It's 20.
It was 20. So they brought them here to Hampton, Virginia. I was born in Newport News, Virginia. So I've been here most of my entire life. My family has too. And what I was shocked at is that when I did a DNA test, I had none of that in me, like no Angola. I was like, wait a minute. I thought they had those people that came over here. Everything just points back to Nigeria. So when I went and did some investigation, and I did it along with ChatGPT, I found out that what they do is they just by default put you in as a Nigerian, just by default. If they can't understand it, don't know where it's coming from, they just say, well, all of these people tested like this and you're from the same area, so you're just Nigerian. And that's what they do. So it made me think, like, is the test really correct if you guys are not getting the full picture here? Because we already know that if there was, I know they was operating under kingdoms back then, but most of those tribes, some of them were smaller tribes. They would be extinct. Some of them would be extinct. Some people may have migrated. So would we be a part of the ancient Africans and not the more modern ones? So my question was just that I didn't understand where they were getting all of this information from, especially like certain things are just missing from the DNA test.
Mrs. Erica, what they're saying is they're going by unspecified. They're placing our genetics under unspecificity, and going off of 14 or 20 regions within Western Central Africa and just grab bag Nigeria and Ghana because they haven't completed the entire African genome. They only just got a few random samples. And mind you,
And
these
let me say,
commercial companies.
and I want to say this too. I tested my grandmother. I did it in a very, terrible way when she was in hospital. She didn't want to give me her saliva, so I tested her. So I tested her and I tested my mom. And I was very shocked when I put their DNA in this DNA company. They both had the exact same DNA. I kid you not. Both of them were saying West African, Portuguese, and Egyptian. And I said, well, wait a minute. My mother and my dad's mother, because this is my father's mother, are not the same person. How did y'all get the results exactly? And to the T. And it just made me start to look at it a little funny there. Like, why is my mother and my dad's mother DNA the same if they're not even related? And I did
It's
enough.
entertainment. It's for entertainment purposes only. I was breaking down, Erica, to some people how the fingerprint and your palm print is 10 times, 1,000 times stronger than DNA. Actually, that's why forensic science created the DNA movement, and the forensic science came from police fingerprints. So when the policing of these people learned our stuff in 1930s and 1950, they started really knowing how to be able to track people by your fingerprint itself can tell you even your complexion, your color. You're not saying that you're light skinned or dark, but it'll tell you that you're either YT or you're so-called BLK. You know what I'm saying? It'll tell you, your genealogy and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't know your fingerprints is 1,000 times stronger than DNA. Check that right thumb.
I don't know about that, Zoe Hustle, but name of James Watson.
Oh yeah. I'm saying he created it off of the forensic science, though. He actually made it out of thin air.
For sure.
Yeah.
And what I was saying about Erica's African admixture, or what they perceive as quote unquote African admixtures, because I know, have you looked into the quote unquote African diaspora section of what it gave you, Erica? Did you look into the African diaspora section of what it gave you on the test?
Yes, it did. So it gave me, of course, Nigerian, because everybody got Nigeria.
No, not that autosomal thing. I'm talking about like the regions within the United States.
Like the breakdowns of the community. Like if you were like DC African Americans, Louisiana Creole African shit like that.
It said mine said Virginia, early Virginia. It said also North Carolina, and then it said South Carolina, the PD region. I didn't know what that was.
Piedmont region. Yep.
So you got the same thing what I had, because a lot of your ancestors would come from like the Yadkin PD, the Low Country Gullah, the early African Americans of Virginia, like my
swamps.
Dismal Swamp. Uncle brother. Yeah, this dude got the same thing you got. Virginia, Carolinas, and Florida. It's the same thing with both sides. And with the Egyptian thing, that probably comes from your why you have a male sibling, right? That took the test as well.
Yes. Now my test did not show Egyptian. It said North African though.
Yeah, it does that with my sister. It didn't give her the Egyptian thing. It gave.
When you are doing this DNA, does it tell you the coding, sequencing of the DNA?
No, what I did was put mine in GED match, and it broke it down more, and it was telling me that my family, it referred me, said that I was Lumbee, or they put the Lumbee and put some other stuff, and then it said Mediterranean area.
What did you send in for your sample?
You said what did I send it at?
What of your body did you send in? A piece of hair, spit, blood? What did you send in?
No, it was just spit, girl.
So I want to know who spit are they comparing spit to? Because you comparing, not saying you particularly, sister, but taking somebody's spit and comparing it to some ancient bones does not even compute. It does not even correlate. How are you matching somebody's spit with a fossil, knowing that DNA decomposes over thousands of years? How does that
what
work?
they're
Like nobody, it's
doing-
like nobody can explain how they're taking somebody's modern spit, not blood, because they keep saying blood quantum, get a DNA test. DNA ain't taking blood.
So Lila, what they're doing is they're comparing you to living people. They're not extracting
Tyron, it's
genetics
fake,
from like.
Tyron, let me explain to you and help her out why it's fake. You get 3 million DNA cells from your maternal. You get 3 million from your paternal. So it's 6 million plus type of cells that they would have to test in all of this in order even to connect it. So when
It's
I
not millions, though, it's billions.
Sir, I got receipts on it. I can pull it up right now. It's
No,
fraud.
Hustle, it's
Hold on,
billions, not millions. Every human has a billion base pairs.
Okay, so well, yeah, you helping me out even more. 3 billions and 3 billion. So 6 billion. What computer system can sit there and diagnose 6 billion cell patterns to be able to match it with something? They don't got it. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because the simple fact when she was, everybody used this DNA conversation, but nobody knows what real DNA is. DNA is not coming out your spit and saliva. You got to do a spine tap in order to get real DNA. That's how you get real DNA. You got to do a spine tap. So when you do
No
a spine
Hustle,
tap,
no, that's wrong.
Sir, Tyron, let me finish. Now I got receipts on everything I'm goddamn saying. So if you're talking about that's wrong, yeah, it's DNA in your hair, it's DNA in your blood and all that. But the real DNA that they test is in your marrow. It's in your bones, sir. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
It most definitely is in your bones. That's where most of the DNA is at. He's right.
Gotcha. So what they're
In their
doing,
bones to be tested.
so what
What's
they
in their
I'm
bones?
still trying to understand how you comparing bones to
Cartridge.
saliva.
The cartridge.
they got the marrow. There's DNA.
The plaque from your tongue, like that plaque that builds on your tongue, it has DNA in it, and that plaque.
That compares
plaque
to some
ends
a
up on
fossil
your
bone,
bones.
and that compares to a fossil bone, and they're comparing that to a fossil bone.
No,
Sitting in
your
Food
bones
Laboratory.
build up
Hold
plaque.
on.
Our
If
tongues
anybody,
build up
hold
plaque,
on.
our
If
organs
anybody
build
works
up plaque.
corporate, none of these companies have the same samples. None of these companies have the same database. So you might have somebody's DNA over here, somebody's fossil remains, but they don't actually have the fossils. They're using some sequencing from a database. So they're taking your spit and saying your saliva has these DNA sequencing, these codes, and we're going to compare it to this sequencing of these bones.
What if you just finished teaching somebody and then you send the saliva in and they got mixed saliva from you and
What
your
they're
partner?
doing is they're comparing it
Y'all
to
sound silly
living
as hell,
people.
man, trying to defend DNA. It's fake, man. It says
They don't
it on the
have.
box.
They don't
It
have.
says it on the box for entertainment purposes.
They don't have the access to, like, say for example, the people in Israel, the Zionists, for example. They say you can't be a Hebrew unless you match a Sephardic, a Hasidic Ashkenazi person from Eastern Europe, and they don't even have like genetic fossils
They're
or
Jewish.
Bible characters. So,
Jewish.
and plus, even if they would find something like that, that DNA would have been eliminated. And plus, the origins of those cultures come from East Africa. So they're not even testing East African tribes. They're using
Get on
a
DNA that
European, person. But with indigenous Americans, they have not collected a full sample for their database, like the Human
Oh,
Genome
because they won't
Project.
give it to them. They won't, like my people over in Columbia. They're not like the dude. Nigga like pulled up in a car and all, offered them stuff, and not going for that.
So they go get people like and way off, like distant out in the bush.
Yeah,
They split.
yeah.
Like the Bodakudos or the Yanomami, those people that's uncontacted from civilization, and they say, oh, this is Native American genetics, and we're gonna compare your genetics to these isolated groups.
Hold
that's
on,
not
hold on, Tyron. Hold on, Tyron. We got an op on the panel, and he off mute and ain't saying nothing. Whiskey, speak your mind, man. Stop texting in the back.
Oh, brother. What? Oh, Whiskey is
You're
here.
not my brother. You're soft as hell, man. Speak your mind.
Oh, shit, we got Venus in the chat. I mean, on the panel now. Whiskey, what's up, Whiskey? Whiskey, won't you go away? Come,
Ow. I was just gonna say,
come back,
fellas.
son.
Just gonna say hello. How's it going, fellas?
Hello, hello. What you sipping on today?
Come out with the heat already?
Yeah, what you sipping on today, Whiskey? No, I shouldn't even ask that. I already know the answer.
Oh, a little bit of bud.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
how many whiskey bottles you ran through tonight?
God damn.
Dude, if I went through whiskey bottles, I'd be fighting the cops right now.
Okay.
Hey, look
I
at
settled
look at
down a long
this.
time
This is
ago.
this is my little brother, right?
No. Just
Yeah,
throw
you
whiskey.
can't be
Hey man,
posting
stop
kids, yo.
showing them kid pictures, man.
Yeah,
And then
That's my old gamer tag.
all right, bro. You tweaking. You gotta go.
Yeah, you tripping, bro.
That's my old
What's
gamer
going on
tag.
with this dude?
Anyways, when I first bought Xbox, I thought that was a cool call sign. Because I
You
went
bought an
fire.
Xbox.
Keen.
Hell are you talking about?
Bro, we talking about genetics.
He's
And
like,
history.
oh,
We talking about
apparently I
Xbox.
drank.
That's
Apparently I drank
that
two
native
bottles of
tripping.
whiskey.
That's that drink, yo. He on that drink right now. That native, got that native drink, that native
Dude,
wop. You feel me?
Right. Hey,
all
Darby,
right, y'all. You gotta
hey,
go.
Darby.
Y'all-
Hey, Darby, you know we be scared of that 181, right? He got that 232.
I was gonna say I did take
Drop some fruits in the chat, y'all. He said that K word.
Oh man.
I was gonna say that I took another test and it said I would just have to show y'all because I was kind of shocked that the test said this too. It said that I had matches family members from Peru. I was like, how the heck did I get family member in Peru?
Yep.
That'll be more true than anything. But I wouldn't subscribe anybody to take a DNA test. I tell them to do the genealogy.
Yep. And, if it said that you matched with somebody in Peru, did they assign that to the indigenous American percentage? Because they did that with mine, trying to assign me to somebody in Mexico, which I don't know any relatives from Mexico. All I know is that my people are from the
No,
South.
that's something different. The database that connects you to people is a different database than the percentages. That's
Can you
two
speak your
completely different
native
databases.
What do you
tongue
mean?
where you're from?
When they
Hey,
connect
what? Who the
you,
fuck? Who is Biohazard?
Can
My
you
bad,
speak
Venus.
your
hold
native
on,
tongue?
hold on, I'm talking. When they
Yeah,
connect
let her
you,
land. Yeah.
when they connect you to a person, they're connecting your genetics. When they connect you to a percentage, that's an estimate. That's two completely different things. Which is why when people take a DNA test, people take a DNA test, they're usually connected to real people in the other places in America, but not Africa. I've never seen a person take a DNA test and said they got a cousin in Africa.
Oh my God, that is so true.
Yep.
But they be having cousins in Mexico and cousins in Peru and stuff
I
like
had
that.
a cousin in Peru and Costa Rica. I had one in Mexico. I'm like, where are these people coming from? Like,
I know I got family in Peru, Mexico, and Barbados. Like,
and I was
actually,
looking for
a
people in
lot of
Africa.
yeah, see, you got to research your. That's why I say do your genealogy, because a lot of your ancestors, you got to think once you get to your 8th grandparent, you're at like 16 plus people. Fast. You spread out that fast. You got to think your great grandparents is 4 of them. Well, no, that's 8 of them. You got 4 grandparents, 8 great grandparents, 16 great great grandparents. Oh man, I'm talking about when you at 8, you past 35 people.
And if you connect to a YT person, typically it's going to be someone from the USA. You're never going to connect to a YT person from Europe. That's because YT people in the USA are mad mixed, which is why they look different from YT people in Europe.
That's facts. But with YT people's genetics that I share on my tree, I guess, They only get like European diaspora and no other admixture on their test, or when it comes to the
Usually, if you look at the percentages, because I notice people in Europe, they never have African.
But white people in the USA always get African. That's their indigenous ancestry being labeled African.
Oh,
Just
I
like our
respect
indigenous
that.
ancestry is labeled African, the same thing be happening to white people
here in the USA.
But and I was gonna say also when y'all got Europe on your ancestry, on your DNA or your genealogy, if you find Europe on your genealogy, it will be more than likely before 1700, because Europe didn't exist before 1700. So
those percentages can only estimate up to 7 generations.
No. Yeah. The DNA can. The
Yeah.
genealogy go way past that. And like genealogy, when you find like England, Scotland, London, and Paris and France, that's all in America back then. You know what I'm saying? That's before the 1800s, before they switched the names and moved the names out of America. So that's why when you look at the names of the places today, Jerusalem, Israel, they're all 1930, 1947. They're all like new corporations instead of real places.
So I came to the conclusion that if you descend from European royalty, it's probably over there in Europe. But if you descend from a European and they don't come from royalty, that's probably just an American being labeled.
Listen,
because
America,
we didn't have kings and queens over here.
Yes, we did. This is where it come from. We are the land
What
of
the
the
fuck you bring
we-
people
no,
up
we
and
did
you don't let
not.
them talk for? All you motherfuckers doing the talking. Fuck.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Why is you
Get
running
off
your
the
mouth,
stage.
boy? Is you out your mind? You just jumped up and just started talking.
Oh my God.
No, you could have talked first. You could have talked first if you came up here respectfully. You was screaming and stuff, frothing at the mouth like a Rottweiler. Like
And his first thing was, "Why don't y'all speak y'all native language?"
What tribe are you from? Like,
I don't. You know what I would like to know?
Profile. I can't even take his profile picture seriously. Like what?
I would like to know what do the Africans who are all on the live telling us we're African, what do they think about this? That we have no matches in Africa. That's why I would like to know what they think.
That's funny because I don't even have any matches to Africa.
Oh,
What
we
my
match
shit
people
say
in
is,
Peru. We don't
I
match
got
them.
YTs on there. I got Black Americans on there. I got Alaska Native, half Black American on my recent family tree. I got Asian, Chinese, direct Chinese people on there. But I can't find not a single African from the continent in my recent genealogy.
And if you do have African in your tree, it's typically going to be someone from North Africa, not even West Africa.
Yes,
not even a North African at all.
I mean, if you find some North Africa in your genealogy, oh man, you did some researching. Because I mean, like the thing is, due to the fact that, like I try to explain to people, it was a maritime law that was in place. That's why America didn't get raided until 1792 to 1794. And so when they talk about how we got compressed and went through these wars like real heavy, that's why it's all in the 1800s, because that's when these people were flooding this place. They all did it behind our back, we didn't know that it was coming. And so even the people that was here knew that it was coming, but we didn't know it was coming. So the people that was already here for a couple years, 10, 20 years, because white tees didn't make it into America past 1,000 people until after 1840. Then up until 1840 to 1880, it still was less than 10,000 white tea people here. So you could discount them out of being the problem. We dealing with a lot of different race, colored people that look like us, blend in with us, but are not us. And they assimilated into positions and jobs and political places. That's why I was just breaking down the first white tea politic was in 1858. So if in 1858, the first white tea politic got into position, that let you know they wasn't here long at all.
Yeah, so if you have if you have Spanish or French on your tree, you might find a North African, because Morocco is only like 30 minutes from like 30 minutes to an hour from Spain. So if you have French or Spain on your tree, you're more likely to have North African DNA. But if you have Europeans from other countries, you're not It's not likely that you're gonna have African on there.
Wait, maybe you need to help me with mine because mine is I don't know.
But let me tell y'all, do not think because you got French in your genealogy that you have foreigner. The French, the original French are from Canada. The original Creoles are from up in the north and the Midwest area. The original Britons were the original Phoenicians. That's where the French and the Britons come from, the Phoenician line. So then you got the Scottish, which the real Scot is also American. That was where Nova Scotia is at. They moved Scotland over to an island, but that wasn't called Scotland. So like a lot of the places have been changed. And that's why I was mentioning the names being moved, because that throws us off on our research as well. If we able to let people know, like, yo, this is what I found in research, in places like even what they call Europe today, that was called West Germany, but it was a whole bunch of Stan companies like Pakistan, Afghanistan. It was a Stan titles to those places. So we'll know that, okay, when Queen Europa Scotia went over there to West Germany and we went over there and colonized and civilized that place, that's when it became Europe, because it came out of the name of Queen Europa. She was Egyptian and Phoenician, which they're the same people. See, a lot of people don't know the Egyptian are the Phoenicians. So this stuff, it goes so far deep to hide who we are, to the point where when you know that you are the great, you are the royal, you are the crown bearers, they lose all power and position.
But I think they slipped up on one of them because I took one of the tests. I think it's called Aditro. It's ANDTRO, and it's a Spanish company. And this is like my fourth test I take it. And what it said was it didn't even specify any African. It just said African American / Native. I was like, wait a minute, where's the African ancestry? And it was just like your family comes from this area, and it had a map of the whole United States. And then it said I had some we call it Meso, I guess you call it Mesoamerican. And I was like, okay, so what's up with this test? Why is this saying this? And they all read different. It's like, I don't know.
It'd be amazing that you get these Native Americans come around and speak about paleo anything, and then they can't say anything that they put their hands on to build. We all know that
when they bring up DNA, they're never specifying which fossil remain they are tracing through. So they'll say they found DNA in present day Arizona. So to which I asked, then for one, your people just migrated to that area. Your people haven't been there. But next, where's your connection to that fossil? And so they're asking us to do something that they haven't done.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, I'm gonna go back to the language thing real quick. No one has ever shown me any treaties in their native tongues. That's what I want to ask. I mean, that question just came to me because I do my own broadcast, but they're always saying, why don't you speak the language? Why don't you speak the language? Show me where your tribe and the United States have a treaty with any portion of the treaty written in their ancient native tongue.
It's not going to be in. It's going to be in it's going to be in American English. But remember when you asked that native that was up here about, certain questions, he froze like he had no clue. And so, like,
that's my daily life with interacting with them.
I thought that was weird too, because most of them say they know their history. Why would he freeze up like that? She was getting them. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, because even when he brought up the bone, she was like, okay, so what did they look like? He stopped. She was like, so was it mosquito?
But he was quiet. So I think all these people be getting text messages of certain stuff to say, but they don't research it and find any more information.
This message is becoming very powerful, and they have never in the history of them ever existing had a counterpoint because we didn't challenge it. And so now they're saying, okay, they're saying this, they're saying that. So they have to come up with talking points so they can be on one accord. That's why they all come in asking about the language. because they know that they put these people in these boarding schools. They literally snatch the children from their mother's arms, crying babies, and saying either we take the kid anyway and just unalive the mother, or you
You know
just
what?
allow them
I'm
to
gonna,
come with us. And so
I
that's
got
where all
some.
this truancy and all that stuff comes from.
Hey
Forcing
Leela,
kids to go to
hey
school.
Leela, I'm gonna be right back. I got these receipts in my phone. I forgot. I'm finna upload them into these pictures, and I'm finna bring them back. See, these Native Americans don't know. Remember, I said we the American natives and they're the Native Americans. Oh yeah. ChatGPT broke it all down. I'll be right back.
But anyway, to answer what Lila was saying, you whole live got Paleo Indian skulls that they found that had Australoid Negro morphology that don't match the modern Native American population that they're comparing the genetics to. They said that they do carry the genetics of these Paleo Indians. It's just the fact that these early American Indians do not have a Mongoloid phenotype. They have a Negro phenotype.
I can say that I match DNA with Martians. Okay. Where is the science? Where is the documentation that says you match the DNA of such and such fossil for them? They're the ones bringing up the DNA. I'm not going to compare it to any DNA because I don't submit my DNA. Okay. The same people that talk about cloning, I don't know why they submit their DNA. But where are these people that's in the Navajo, that's coming to be a Cree? Where is the documentation that anyone from their tribe, it doesn't have to be them, but anyone from their tribe is matching the fossil remains of said individuals, of these fossils? Like, where is the correlation?
So
And
they're saying-
again, yeah,
they're
they need to
saying
answer that for me.
haplogroup. They're saying haplogroup, which is A, B, C, D, X, and Y, and Z, or whatever. But those haplogroups overlap with other human races, such as A2, which is what they use as their mitochondrial Eve over here. And they say that that A2 marker that has that African haplogroup L in it, and Austronesian,
I
aka
understand the science. What I'm saying is,
Polynesian
where do
genetics
these
and-
modern people? I've never seen a modern human in any of these chats and conversations says my DNA matches that fossil that's being held at the University of Idaho, or the University of Arizona has a fossil and my tribe matches that. So every time y'all ask how we get them caught up to where they're speechless, there's people that come on my broadcast, they're claiming they're Navajo. They said that they matched someone like Kennewick Man, and Kennewick Man was not found in that area. So I'm asking them, of your tribes, and you are bringing up DNA. Where does your particular DNA, just because they found some bones all the way in Canada and you over here in Arizona, show me the correlation. I need to see some documentation for people that are asking us to provide DNA. They're asking us, and they're not, and nobody told them to say, show us yours.
Well, I do. When I always hold them to task when I heard them kind of getting a little saucy. I'll say real quick. I say if they ever got a chance to DNA some of y'all in them tribes, some of y'all would be in trouble. And nobody talk about that. They get kind of quiet and stuff. So I don't know.
And real quick in the chat, real quick, they're saying, well, Venus said something about, the hospitals have your DNA. We were raised to not participate with the hospital system. We knew they were doing experimentation. We knew they were doing some funny things. So my family, we just never been that type to engage with hospitals. We always did herbal healing. We do a lot of self-healing. So we don't, I'm like, my mother was born on a farm. My father was born in a home, in his house in Atlanta. My mom born on a farm in Kansas. So we have that's never been us. We've never participated with the hospital system.
Well, when
you're saying, hold on, you're saying they can clone you if you're doing a DNA test. If you were born in a hospital, if your parents were elderly, they had to go to the hospital, get their stuff drawn. You're in the system. If you got a birth,
we don't allow them to draw
system.
blood. Like we were raised to not. That's just our Indianness. We've never allowed them to draw blood.
I'm already in the
But I'm
system.
just saying,
That's for,
majority of our people have been to the hospital, so taking a DNA
That's
test would
the
not.
that's for the
That's
real quick,
irrelevant.
sis. That's for the
Oh,
home
let them do
birth
that.
she talking
Indian-
about. Though,
Indians
with
were raised not to
anybody
let
that
them.
was born
Of
in a
course.
hospital, their DNA was taken and their blood was drawn. It's all under the Gumphrey
They
report.
don't even last longer than 6 months. So where is this database of
No,
our 1980s babies?
I just was telling
Everywhere
you.
in the
It's
hood,
under the.
see these
Hold on, brother.
plasmids.
Can you hear me
DNA
speak?
does not last longer than a
Real
few
quick,
months.
sis, you asking a question. I'm trying to answer, but you want to be adamant on what you're saying. But can I give you an answer and then you can debate that? I just want to give you an answer, a clear answer. The DNA that we're speaking about is under the Gumphrey report. It's something that they started using to so-called track to see if your child has a health need or so on and so forth. This is what they say they do it for, but we know other reasons, right? So that's besides the point. But anyone that has been born in a hospital, their blood was drawn and it was put on there. And it's not about the DNA lasting, darling. What they do is they take it and then they do an analysis on it. They have a whole data system, and this is how they track. And this is why I say they know where everyone is from. When they came out with this fake DNA testing and all of that stuff, that was all false as well. Because if that was the case, they could have been doing this, because they've been doing this. This Gumphrey thing started in I think it was 48 or 52. So it's been out for the longest. So they could have been tracking it if that was the case, because they have been
Testing didn't start until the 1980s. And even then it was
I'm not saying DNA tracking, sis. I'm talking about them being able to track the frequency of the blood, knowing your blood when they draw your blood at the hospital when a child was born. Anybody that was born in the hospital, they draw the blood, and then they're able to trace you. They know whose matches. They know who your blood type goes back to.
They don't have my blood. They don't have our blood.
Not
They don't.
yours, sis. Sis, you're one person out of a million.
If you went to the hospital,
Hold on one second.
They don't have anybody's blood. Go to the hospital where you were born.
Sis, you're making this about you. We're talking
I
about
challenge
people in
anyone.
general.
I
You're
challenge
challenging
anyone.
about yourself, though. There's no challenge. Nobody
Yes,
cares.
I go to the hospital where you
That's
were
you.
born and ask them, where is my blood stored from the day I was born?
Okay,
They don't, there's no
Are
storage
you
of your
okay?
blood.
Like, what is going on
There's
here?
no storage of your blood. Sorry. There's
It's not the story. You're not listening because you're so busy trying to be right, and you're wrong. Because I'm not saying about storing the blood. You're not even listening. I never even said that. Now you're putting words in my mouth. Please don't do that. If you didn't understand me, let me explain it again. I said they have tracked and they have traced the sequency of the blood. It's on a record, which is a documented record, which is in a system. It has nothing to do with holding the blood or keeping a track of the blood. That's not what I said. They have, once they draw that blood and they put it on the Gumphrey card, they have the sequency that they have tracked, and they know who belongs to who is related. They know all of that through that sequency. This is what I'm saying to you. It's not about a blood tube that they're holding. None of that. It's the testing. They do it then. They don't have to have it and hold it.
And nobody can clone you with spit. Really? Can we be for real right now? With spit? Are we being for real right now?
So is this this is the reason why 23andMe just got sold? Because I was looking at who picked them up, who actually is trying to buy them, and it's a company that deals with insurance and stuff like that.
You're talking about you can be cloned by spitting into a tube. You cannot clone somebody with
y'all so
You can
red.
clone somebody with
y'all
their
sending
name.
in y'all sending in your, and you're talking about cloning. If you believe that there's accepting and sending in your whatever,
even know what y'all are doing, because I don't participate in stuff like that.
So Lila, they
But
do,
what's
store your
unclear,
blood.
what's unclear, and what they're
hospital, they took X, Y, and Z. What?
So Lila, they do have your plasma and your blood on file, but there's a
No, they don't. No,
yes, they do.
No, they
because I've donated plasma to them plasma centers. They got
donated plasma as an
Well, how can you say that?
Can you
This
stop
is something
talking
that
over
they're
people? What is
doing.
going
This
on
is a
here? Can you
record,
stop talking
sis.
over?
All right, I'll let y'all have this. 'Cause
blood and it's on file for the rest of your life. What are you talking about?
Stored if it expires after a certain amount of time, the record is still there of what your blood said before it expired, so it doesn't matter.
These records. Where are
Like,
these
what is
records?
going on here?
Where are these records?
They got your blood record.
Look it up online, sis. Look it up online. Do a study on it, sis. Do a study and figure it out. Since you want to
Where?
know
Well,
what they're going with it.
where?
Why don't
Vital
look it up? Hold on,
Where?
guys. Everybody's talking at one time. I'm trying to tell her where. Just look it up online. Look up the gun three, or gun three, however it's pronounced, blood tracking system, and then it'll pull up. It'll tell you who invented it. It'll tell you what they do, how they do, all of that. You can do the research yourself. Sis, it's nobody's just making something up to tell you. This is out there.
Or you could also probably check the hospital where you were born at. They might still have it on file.
When my mom was pregnant with me, she had to get a blood transfusion because her iron was low and she almost unalive. So where did they get that blood for that blood transfusion if they don't have blood on file?
They also got your plasma too.
Now, adults undergoing modern medicine, and now I'm looking into this Guthrie. So for newborn screening, where did this happen? It didn't happen in
Newborn
Kansas City.
screening. It has to happen in the hospital if it's
Where?
newborn.
Where?
Screening.
So Guthrie just going
In
to
the
all the
hospital.
hospitals around all of the country, from Philadelphia to Kansas City, St. Louis to Alabama, and
They're
just
not
going
going
and
around.
collecting
Every hospital is
newborn
a part of it.
samples.
Vital records. Vital records, sweetheart. You familiar with vital records? You ever heard of that? Have you ever heard of vital records?
Or a birth certificate.
Have you ever
That's-
heard
that's
of
not
vital
vital
records?
record, a birth certificate.
No. We talking about you though. You keep putting it about you, but there's a whole world. Are you familiar with vital
Everybody in
records?
Missouri.
Are you familiar with vital
Kansas,
records?
in
Yeah, but
Texas.
it's not just about you, darling. We're talking about in general. We're having a discussion. There are 8 people plus the host up here. So if we're having a discussion about something, it can't be about you. It's about everybody, right? That's what we're discussing, and we're trying to make an adamant point, and you're going against no. It's something you're not even familiar with. You just looked it up when I just gave you the reference for it, and now you're seeing it, and you're still saying no, and you haven't had time to even read it all. So I just don't understand that. Why go against something that you're not familiar with or you don't have an understanding of? I don't understand.
Your Guthrie report was looking for a certain type of a disorder, PKU, 10,000. So whatever it happened, it developed in Buffalo, New York. I never even been there, so that's not connected to me. So what?
Okay,
so what is
great.
it? Where does this Guthrie go? So they were
It don't
crossing over
matter,
state
sis. It don't
lines?
connect to you, so let's not
Yeah,
worry
thank
about it.
you,
Let's
thank
bypass it because we're not talking about you. We're not talking about you. So let's just
Yeah,
not talk about it.
let's reset. Let's reset. I ain't been around. What's up, y'all? Everybody else is just joining. Actually,
peace.
You know what we're gonna do. What's up, Sis Star? What the hell is wrong with my browser?
I don't know what's going on. All I said is I'm probably gonna take a DNA test because I don't know who my dad's father is, and all this nonsense started coming up. Like,
Yeah, y'all been harboring on DNA for a minute. I didn't. God damn.
He's
Hello.
talking about blood.
So
when
I got
came up, it was
don't,
about blood.
All right, for sure. None of that matters because we about to go on a music break, and I'm gonna tell y'all why none of that matters because you guys are all from. We about to go on a music break, and all right, hold on 1 second. The music. You guys are all from. You're from Africa, nigga. You're from Africa, nigga. Album dropping Friday. You're from Africa, nigga. You're from Africa, nigga. Like it or not, you're from Africa, nigga. Just look at your features. I can find 10 of you in Nigeria. You're not from America, we ain't hearing you. Yep, you're on a music break. Like zero, they took you from the motherland. Now you think you're from another land. You're from Africa, nigga. You're from Africa, nigga. You're from Africa, nigga. You're from Africa, nigga. You were enslaved by the white man. Your names came from the white man. Your culture is of the white man. You can't breathe without the white man. We work better with the white man. Making money with the white man. You know we love the white man. Oh, the white man.
That's what you showed us too.
Get killed by cops, nigga. Pull up your pants, nigga. Go to school, nigga. You're from
Africans owe us reparations too.
All right, hold on 1 second. None of that matters also because
we got to come off from our replay.
Black and Indian just means that you're a slave. Turn a noble Jew Ali to really get saved. Cause you're a more brother. In actuality, it's time to claim your real nationality. America is our Morocco, and you ain't even know like your name is Rocco. R.I.P. Drew Ali, we totally miss him. Cause he's the one to get us out the system. You're a more
album dropping Friday.
I'll buy it.
Brother, we Israelites.
I got that. I got one too.
You're not black, you're truly white. Black is dead, and that's why you have to fight for your life. Cause you're a more brother Islam. You're a more brother Islam. You're a more brother Islam. You're a more.
All right, let me play the Israelite one. We can go back to what he was doing.
We're God's chosen people, the Israelites. 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 You say you're an Indian, that's the tribe of Gad. Why do you want to be American so bad? Because this land is Babylon. Sit down and let me get my Babylon. Israel has our autonomy. I need you to go and read Deuteronomy. Yeah, I will save you from Esau sodomy. Psalms 82:6. It's the God in me. We're God's chosen people, the Israelites. We're God's chosen people, the Israelites. We're God's chosen people, the Israelites. Yo, we're God's chosen people, the Israelites. We're God's chosen people, the Israelites. We're God's chosen people, the Israelites. Yo. You say you're Seminole, you're the tribe of Reuben. The Pharaoh had us making bust down Cubans. Yeah, we came from slaves, but fuck a Hamite. Kicked us out of Israel and took our land right. Don't worry, cause Yahweh's coming back. And gathering his soldiers to put Esau on his back. Running up on him and yeah, we folding them. Turn your life to y'all cause we're the chosen ones. Yeah, we're God's chosen people, the Israelites.
Yeah, we got the album dropping. Well, I gotta let y'all see the cover art. We got the album dropping.
Yo, that shit was fire. I ain't gonna lie.
Did you do this?
Yeah,
Yes.
he did.
For the Trolls dropping Friday. It's gonna be on Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere. YouTube.
Yo,
Yeah.
put the Apple Music in the this one.
All right, hold on. I will when it drops there.
DNA test. Show us your blood quantum, even though it's racist. Why don't you speak your native language? Your ancestors came on slave ships. I'm a 23andMe disciple. Skip Bates is my idol.
Pure blasphemy.
Just say you're African before I bite
Why
you.
don't you say you do a nation?
They're going for a Grammy out here. For the Trolls, hell yeah. Yo, I should have named it. For the Trolls, nigga.
It's crazy how they use the fruit.
Nigerian, but you don't even care. Admit that you're from Africa and stop being scared. Show your results so we can see that you're a spit kid Bantu just like me.
All right, we can go back to regularly scheduled programming.
You say grandma told me I was Indian, said you half white.
Hey, yo.
That's next level. That right there, that's next level. I'm blown away. I really am.
That's creative.
What's up, Key? Got Key in the building. Yeah, me trolling. Album for the trolls. Me trolling. The only her song y'all haven't heard is the high IQ one. Yeah, that's
What's the
me.
high IQ one? Is it the bell curve?
You gotta play it.
Or
You
is it
gotta
the Somalis and the Africans talking about IQ?
It's the YT. It's the YT.
Okay.
Come on, man. We gotta hear it, man. We gotta let
I'm gonna save that. Y'all can listen to it Friday.
I was hoping we had an early premiere.
What's up, Joe? Oh, Joe, the educators in here. Oh man. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, they got a song. Them taking us to court too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Shout out to Salagi Kiki.
Let's go. Who made this song?
I made all of them.
You're a pretendian. Let's do the fake tribes, take them to court cause they're all fake guys. You'll never be a native, you're an African and you hate it. Report them to the DIA, they're agents of the CIA. Let's go to ICE to get them deported. Hop on my live stream, get them reported. You're a rebel, you're a pretendian. You're a rebel, you're a pretendian. You're a rebel, you're a pretendian. You're a rebel.
Yeah, because I know them. Because I made them. Like I made the songs. Of course, I know the lyrics.
Call ICE. Call ICE. Report him to the BIA. Report him to the BIA. You're a rebel. You're a pretendian.
Call ICE. Call ICE. All right. We can get back to it. Anybody want to address the topic?
We're the first Americans, black/melanated. Yeah. I feel like they were. I mean, you know, as they hate to hear it, you know, from us. My grandmama and my great grandmama told me that
Next song, your great grandma told you.
right. Man, these folks can't stand us, bro. They go all the way to the ends of the earth to try and disprove us. All we're doing is looking at history.
For sure. Call ICE. Report. Call ICE, please. Take
Call
the
the
FBI. Call the CIA. Call the BIA, please.
Tell the government, tell Trump.
Oh yeah, they talking about getting their big homie the BIA on us and shit, saying they gonna sue. They gonna sue all the fake tribes. They going to Yamasi fake tribes. All types of shit.
They said they gonna get the Lumbee too. They said they fake too.
Shit, they call
they
him Mike
just
TV fake. He said, this dude's whole life said that his card is fake. How, motherfucker, he went through y'all system? He got the ancestor. Claudio Sant wrote about his fucking ancestor. How is he fake?
Everything. I'm telling you. Was able to find and track her ancestry. Oh, she can't be real. She not real. That ain't a real.
Streams. It was that one dude. Y'all know that one dude, man. Like that one dude. I don't even know his name, but we know.
Gummy. Is it Gummy?
Yeah, love.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was just on his shit.
That nigga be up there calling black
started
people
asking
dumb.
Look, I just started asking him. I said, "So,
I don't know what it is I had asked him, but he just started telling me all this stuff. He told me that the Mormons said that his people were cursed to have dark skin and woolly hair. And he started saying all different times. I'm like, bro, like, come on, cuz like he said he's got stardust in his DNA. His
Hey,
people
yo.
from the stars.
He got
Wonder-
gypsy dust.
I wonder where he got that talking. Bro, they still niggas talking points from years ago.
Man, what man?
Nerd Nazareth, did you just say he had gypsy dust in his system?
I don't know about that. I said stardust.
No, that's gypsy dust, bro.
Oh man. Cause bro, I'm talking about they taking every talking point that we had, cuz.
Yeah,
Look, and he got a whole Google sitting right there too.
Man, what he said he come from the ancient giant race. I'm like, come on, cuz, what you
This
doing?
nigga say he a Nephilim? Hello?
You said Gummy said that?
Man, that one dude, man.
What
you
is
know
the
that,
prompt mean?
I don't know what that boy name is, but
It started with an L, right?
I think so. He done got banned on a couple of accounts. He got like the two ponytails.
Yeah, he got the ponytails.
He be hitting the pipe on stream outside the camera.
Hey yo. Who is this? Moshe
Vac.
Vac. We got what's that? German? Is that the
Moon Knight.
German? What you say?
Hey. I said, what does the prompt mean?
What you think? What you think? What you think? You mean? What you think?
I mean, did you write it?
Yeah, I wrote the goddamn
Oh,
prompt.
well, it
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense why it means bullshit.
Why it
Black
means
Americans
bullshit? How-
don't exist. There's only Africans and shit skin cotton pickers. Those are the only things that exist.
Where you from, Moshe? Where you from?
I'm a real American, not a wannabe.
No, you're
shit-skin.
not. When your folks
Put your
get there.
camera on.
I was like, yeah.
No, yeah,
Okay.
Mosh, where were you? Oh, yeah.
Oh, you ran?
There's
got it
so
right?
violent. They're
He was
so
running.
violent.
Yep.
These are the
Right.
Scandinavian Yahtzee.
Yeah,
look at the
what-
chart.
Cut your
Hold on.
camera
The monkey
on.
The
dropped me.
Scandinavians are so
Someone
violent.
needs to teach
So,
this monkey
Mosh,
how to
shut
use
up,
technology.
Shut up.
Let's
Mosh,
not
Stop
say
building mud
monkey.
huts.
Because if you
Mosh.
say the
Round
monkey,
two,
he's
he's
white.
back.
Mosh, where,
Y'all gotta use.
Yeah, you only know how to make malaria and AIDS. Someone
All
needs to teach
right,
you how to
he
use
got it. Yeah, he said too many trick words. He gotta go.
Yeah, he's doing too much. Ain't got no
Yeah, he's our enemy now.
ain't got no etiquette. Ain't got no etiquette.
That's poor social skills. Low
That's
etiquette.
what eight cave beasts do. They don't
Can't
have
control
no
itself.
So
All right,
scary.
all right.
Can't control itself. It's sad.
And they say
Yeah.
the same thing. Like,
They
when
get
y'all gonna get
frustrated.
over the stuff? I'm saying the same dumb stuff. Oh, you guys
Right.
and eating monkeys. Hey, we already seen monkeys have small lips. That ain't black people.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that,
More like a gorilla.
That's stupid.
yeah.
Homo Neanderthal Scandinavian.
Yes, that's what I was trying to hint at.
Girth,
It's pronounced
Girth,
Anglo-Saxon.
He
hold
said
on,
more
shut
like
up.
a gorilla.
Girth, where are you?
You
Where were
must
you
not
born?
have checked your DNA.
Girth, where were you
Called
born?
Anglo-Saxon, not related.
You must
Yeah,
not
so
have checked
Homo
your
Neanderthal.
DNA, honey.
Thank
You
you,
must not
brother.
have checked your DNA, honey.
Homo Neanderthal, Scandinavian. So
Let's be
Girth,
real.
Going back 80 years.
Girth, when did your people get to the United States?
Oh my gosh.
Girth Brooks, when did your people get to the United States?
1800s.
Okay, so our
Mm,
people were here
mm,
before your
mm.
ancestors, so we're the predecessors. So you're colonials, and you have.
But she was
exactly-
property then.
But you
so
had, yeah,
might
but
as
you
well.
had.
True.
violence.
True. Oh, y'all was property.
Hold on, one
Y'all
mic,
was
one mic,
service
one mic.
too.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, your fault. Like he came over after niggas shit that went down. Like you came out, you tried to get an A on a project that you ain't participate in. So Girth, you ain't.
This is our country. What are you
It'd be
talking
like
about?
four
It-
white
You and our
people,
project.
4 white people.
You ain't on your folks
alone.
ain't on.
So
Our
Homo
land, boy.
Neanderthal had. So there's never been any Homo Neanderthal DNA fossils found in the Americas.
All these
So you're
hillbillies.
homeless.
African souls
You're
where?
home.
Talking reckless.
You know they're not gonna
Put
cut the
your
camera
camera
on. So
on.
why
What
would
you
you?
talking about?
Yeah,
You're
why
not
they
gonna
cover?
cut it on. He's living in a trailer
camera is
park.
on. His camera
He's
is
not
on.
gonna cut it on.
That's
I
him
know a
right there.
trailer park when I
He
hear the
keep.
echo.
Look,
He don't
look,
even got
look,
like he only got camera privileges. He got 25 followers, dude.
Probably
look.
got a motor in the front yard.
No, his
This
camera is on.
broke
His camera is on.
ass
That's him right there.
stairs. Oh my god.
All right, 1 second, hold on. But yeah, Girth, how you trying to get A in the project you ain't participate in? You own your folks ain't own shit.
What's the percentage participation?
Why do you even
You
come
living
to
in a
these
cave.
lives?
You coming from a
Hold
cave.
on, let me talk. Let me talk to him. Y'all know, like, just let me talk to the people that when I'm talking. Like, come on. All right. So, Girth, your folks got here in the 1800s. Where do they come from?
Europe.
What part of Europe?
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't even know where you got it. You sound like a Cabbage Patch Kid, Girth.
Yeah, French area.
French area, wee area, the wee area.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the people that took over your.
How you take over when you got a wee, Girth?
If your people are French, we're speaking English.
What's up? Hold on 1 second. How you take over when you
1/3
got
of Africa speaks French.
you from the wee? So you're the 1/3 of Africa. We ain't in Africa, sir.
We haven't
Yeah,
been
but
in
it's
there.
your people.
Oh,
So.
yo, that's not our people. Mm-mm.
Damn, he can't even tell the difference between Black Americans and Africans. He think he's
No,
in
his people didn't come from
Africa
France. He just made that up. He don't know what
Facts.
part of. He don't know where his people came from. He said
Mm.
1800s. He can't give us 1898. He don't know. We
Where
don't
did
even know
your
about
people
who.
come
You don't
from?
even know about your own lineage.
When did
10
you
years
get
ago,
too much?
you guys only called yourselves African Americans.
You don't
And
know who he
who the hell
is.
is
Yeah, I
Earth?
think
Hold
it's
on,
funny when you on a laugh weekly.
it's too
Hey,
many mics going off, yo. It's too many mics. Too many mics going off, yo. One person at a time. Y'all know I got on headphones. Y'all loud as hell. Luckily, I'm not overstimulated. But yeah, y'all gotta relax. God damn. Oh, we got what's up, Mr. Darkside? Mr. Darkside back on a stupid. Oh yeah, what's up? Any
What's
got
good, Mr. Dark Side?
yeah, man. Yeah. Y'all gotta relax before we
In
turn up on it.
how come in the 80s and the 90s, all the way into the early 2000s, black people wanted to be called African Americans and not black?
Where does it say Black people wanted to be called African American?
Oh, that was always going through.
Who?
You
Where?
can
Where?
call
Where,
them
where did my
black 'cause
people
you're
say that?
racist. But now
Where-
you don't
where
want
did- where
to
did
be
my
called
people say
African
that?
Americans.
Who-
Now
who
you're
said
Black American. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just getting it straight. I mean, every other week. you guys change
I don't
something new
recall my
shit.
ancestors participating in that.
I thought that
So
was
that's
Jesse
just something you just
Jackson.
made up.
Well, you guys just.
Yeah, but Jesse, whoever elected Jesse Jackson?
You know what I
Did
mean?
he
I
ever
don't even
serve
know
in the
who the
House of
hell that is.
Representatives or
Who's
in
Jesse
Congress?
Jackson?
Where
I don't
did
even know
Jesse?
who the
Did anybody ever vote Jesse Jackson into power?
No, and there was
Jesse Jackson ain't had no power.
And there were black people who protested that.
Bo Jackson is.
That has nothing to do with what you just stated.
Well, let me say this on the African American, right? So people don't know this.
Is a Black American.
Can you shut the hell up, Earl? Like,
African
goddamn.
American, you can see this only in one area before Jesse Jackson. That's in Philadelphia. They use that for a small percentage of so-called black people in Philadelphia. That's the only time you're gonna see African American. Prior to that, you ain't seeing that until Jesse Jackson. And when Jesse Jackson was seeing that, a lot of people wanted to be black. And before black, let's say this, because my mama is from Mississippi. They didn't even want to be called black because my mama was singing "I'm Black and My Proud" by James Brown. Her mama came out the house and said, turn that shit off. Y'all not black, y'all Indian. So even before black, motherfuckers didn't want to be called black. It's through the 60s under the education system when all the parents was going to school, when they start implementing that black shit onto people. And then after that, in the 80s, that's when you start getting African American. Even then, my mama and them, they want to become African American. They want to stay black. So you got to understand the what they do to young people. They're bringing the mind control in the school system. You won't know no motherfucking better. You think these people are.
Where does
your
she read
teachers?
that? Where's the proof?
What you mean the proof?
There is proof.
I'm saying my
census.
grandmother.
When I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. How about
Man,
that?
shut the fuck up. Why y'all keep over talking people? This ain't the YT and I say so show. Learn how to behave. Stop acting like fucking hyenas. You fake ass high IQs niggas. You feel me? Get your stupid ass on. Stupid.
So to answer this moron's question, we
Yeah, they gone.
through several changes on the U.S. Census. You already know why we had our name changed, because you didn't want us claiming Indianness. So you kept changing our name over and over. And initially, when since you claimed that Africans was brought here by the millions or so, they didn't even call these slaves Africans at all. They just said Negro or slave or whatever, or buck or winch. But when we got the 1790 census, first thing that they put on the census was just Negro or a black or slave, free white and white on the census. It didn't feature
people
Indian
realize
yet
how
until like the hold on, Lila, hold on. It
Hold on,
didn't
Lila.
feature Indian until 1866 time frame when they implemented the 5 civilized tribes.
Yeah, and I was one of those
then
tribes.
once the 1960s,
Hey, Warhammer, shut the fuck up.
They
Why do y'all
changed-
do that shit?
they changed American Indian over to Native American as a way of changing it over with political correctness. When you had like
There's
AIM,
no political
American
correctness.
Warhammer,
Yo.
mute your fucking mic, please, bro. Because you don't even have any context of why we were classed as African American.
You were never classed as African
All
American.
right, get off the stage. Get off the. Why do y'all have so little decorum coming in here? Right? Why y'all getting paid? Y'all getting paid? TikTok, Russia, y'all they paying y'all? Is ByteDance paying y'all? Goofy asses to do this shit? Huh? To distract your tour, the conversation. Y'all ain't got shit to add. Go live your fucking life. Stop. Turn off the corn hub. Because y'all know we know y'all suffer from ED. So turn off the corn hub, get your fucking life together, and learn how to interact with humans.
Well, peace to the host, peace to the chat. I'm gonna say this, right? Y'all know who this is too, because I really gotta say too much as well. For starters, to my kinfolk, Mr. Darling, that was just speaking some true hard stuff. Shout out to him right there. Y'all gotta understand this is all true. When you're talking about people that had to face with all of these acts that was taking place in United States of America, it was revolving with the black community. And then some part of these Europeans and these Asian people coming in involved as well. And then some of the people from our community getting themselves involved with the system too. But understand this, when you're talking about America, especially North America, only black Americans were the only people that had to face with everything that was going on. There was no Africans that was dealing with the Jim Crow. There was no Asian people that was dealing with the Jim Crow. The only two people that we know that was dealing with the Jim Crow was the black Americans and white tea Americans, okay? Now, understand that those two things have a lot of deeper value to it. And then anything before that was happening while these other presidents was in office, while they was also making these acts, was going against my people. Before we got reclassified, we was identifying ourselves by the nations and tribe that our people lived in. Okay, understand this: these cities, these states that we're living in, all of these new names and terms that's been using just came here in like the early 1900s, late 1800s. So y'all really need to start looking in between the difference between modern history and ancient family history, because your family history have way more value than the things that we sat here and wasted 12 years of our life being in school for. These people are going to teach us to go outside of ourselves. You can't go outside of yourself when you're trying to find information. You got to go within, okay? The only way you're going to learn anything is figure out what you need to learn, what you need to figure out, what you need to do. So all the other stuff y'all try to be ignorant about, save that. Save that, because nobody got time for that. You know what I mean? You got melanated people all through this entire globe. Wherever that sun is beaming out, you're going to see brown people living in their own area where they're from. You new people that just got here, the one that got straight here. I'm not talking about the white tea people. I'm talking for all the people who got straight here, pale skin, a different type of hyperpigmentation, that type of things. Your people haven't been here that long. Your type of breed, your type of human, y'all haven't been here for that long. Y'all just got here. Understand? Admixture is a thing. If y'all don't understand biology like that, y'all didn't go back to school for biology because this is some simple ninth grade biology crap. Okay? People from different regions. If that man coming from another area to have a baby with a woman from that area, that baby's gonna be a mixture from wherever that man is at and wherever that. Come on, y'all. Y'all making it way difficult for yourselves.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Fufu.
You're very welcome.
Oh yeah, I forgot to talk shit to Georgia. That Georgia fucking Yoruba over there. We got Dr. Fufu. We got Yoruba Johnson. We got Yoruba Johnson. We got Mr. Filani side. We got
You got Devar. No. You got Devar. You got Devar Okabalia.
Hey yo.
I don't know how to make an African name, so I had to make that up.
We got my boy Tyron L.
Oh, I'm crying.
You're more brother.
Brother, we from
Islam.
From Morocco, brother.
Al Morocco to be exact. Look at the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, brother. Look into my Black's Law, Henry Campbell Black's Law Dictionary, brother. We are not black. Black is you're deceased in law, brother.
Cause you're more brother Islam.
Technically, in the definition of the Henry Campbell
You're
Black's
more-
Law, 4th edition.
You're more
Calling
brother
yourself black, brother. You're calling yourself pale.
Cause you're more brother Islam. You're more brother Islam. You're more brother Islam.
Nah, brother, we're Israelites, brother. Y'all worshiping false deities, false idols, man. We are Israelites. The Most High only, right?
But don't put your back against. I get the joke, but don't put your back against the couch. Yeah, what's up, Karan? See if he coming through. What's up, Karan?
What's up, man? That was an accident, man. My bad.
Nah, you straight. You straight.
For sure.
But nah, these folks is crazy, man. These folks on this here TikTok is crazy. And TikTok.
Actually, no, Twitter worse, bro. I'm sorry.
Twitter is worse. Yeah, Twitter is worse.
Coming in, white
Twitter way worse.
supremacists. We got natives hating on us. We got Pan-Africans.
It could be worse. We had the Fleetmen on here acting a fool, but thank God they ain't made their way over here yet.
Y'all waiting for the low IQ spewing
fucking
Ethiopians and Somalis to come
fucking
up.
Hilda missing a brain cell. What's her name? The one that's married to the fucking the fence hopper.
Buffalo.
What's her name?
Yeah, Buffalo.
Fucking Buffalo.
We're missing Big Back though. He need to come up here.
Hey yo, that's I'm good. Shit, I'll take Big Back over them. I'm not gonna lie. I'll take Big Back over their asses.
Hey, Big Back or Black again?
Yo,
have you been on Kaizo's panel, Kaizo Empire?
Hey, hold on. Would you rather have Georgia? Would you rather have Big Back or Shaw?
Oh hell no! Hey, that's a horrible choice, bro. That's a horrible
Auntie Lyra's Hoodoo Corner.
Bro, I can't stand that boy Shaw, bro.
Yeah,
he said my grandmama is from a Congo. I just knew because I saw the feather on her head. That's how I knew she was from a Congo for how she was dancing. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
My ancestor is Ibrahim Studi.
I went to Congo and I prayed and I felt the spirit. I felt the voodoo spirits and I just knew I was from Congo.
Neither can do shit. I don't know.
Talking about
We talking about somebody from Twitter. That shit.
I think
This
Nicky
guy.
know who we talking about.
Yeah, that nigga shy. Like he said, what did he say? He said the banjos from the Congo or some shit. He said the
Congo
Congo.
He said blue. He said the blue. He said blues comes from the Congo. I swear to God, he
He
did.
said the blues come from the Congo. Oh man,
It's so African.
Yes, he's a Pan Am. He said so he's a descendant of Nat Turner, apparently. He said Nat Turner's mother came from
Darvin,
Ghana.
get it right. I'm a descendant of Nat Turner.
Yeah, he said he's a descendant, and he said his mom, Nat Turner's mama, Nancy Turner, came from Ghana. Whole time she's on the Sharonaka census record. He said,
Black Indian, bro. Black Indian, bro. He in denial of his American Indian
Listen,
roots, bro.
I'm from Virginia. We ain't never heard that before about that term.
No, because Nate Parker put that shit in that movie, Birth of a Nation remake, and tried to Africanize that man.
They're descendants.
Right.
They're descendants of his mother, right? And like Nat Turner's their uncle.
I heard
Basically,
that.
'cause-
I even heard that when they were coming after him, he hid with the it was some tribe he hid with.
Great Dismal Swamp.
Yeah, and they knew him. Like, I don't understand.
The Tunica, I think.
Yes, like, what is going on?
Yo, Shaw funny as hell because he read that shit in a goddamn book. He said his aunt did the research, but it's from a fucking book saying that Nat Turner's mother's from like Ghana or Egypt, some shit.
Man, it was crazy. It was crazy. He said he's kin. I'm like, bro, that means you deny your American Indian roots for African, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Matter of fact,
That's
why
wild.
do
He
people
even
use
said
the
it. He
confessions?
even said it. He even said he
Why
was
do-
supposed to was.
Why do people use the confessions of Nat Turner even though he ain't confessed to nothing? It's a European that wrote that book.
motherfuckers are ignorant. They don't do no research. I realize a lot of these Pan Africans just they like Christians to me because I was on a panel today. This nigga said, I know I'm African because I believe it. What the fuck, nigga? What? You ain't
A
do
lot
no-
of Pan Africans are Christians. That's the crazy thing.
They Christians like a motherfucker. They believe
Islamic, Christian, or Hebrew.
Look, they only believe when that brother come on them lives. Donations. You don't talk.
Give me your grit money.
Look, ain't build a school yet. I told my husband, I said, we pay his salary.
Hey, y'all wanna know what crazy about that dude? He got a whole 19-year-old daughter that he ended up paying child support for 18 years. And he ended up seeing this. And he still ain't got that, you know what I'm saying, came up to it.
Yeah.
Yup.
yeah.
He's in
Dane
LA
Calloway called
right
him out on it.
now.
Tunde.
He's literally at in LA right now on a giving a discussion.
Ain't one of his parents Cuban? He talking about the black woman this, the black woman that. But
He
you ain't got to
claimed to
take
be
care
a
of your black
Bailey.
daughter.
He claimed to be the descendants of Frederick Douglass, which is the Bailey family.
That
My
Then who in his
contact,
family
he's
Cuban?
at UCLA right now. My contact just said he claimed that George Washington Carver was castrated as a boy. Apparently, that claim is disputed. But he's at UCLA.
Well, a lot of people say that because his voice was high, because it was too. So they thought he was homosexual, right? Because he's had a high voice. But Dick Gregory came out and said they castrated him. That. Now I don't know how true it is, but because how he spoke, and he have no kids, and he have no woman. They first said he was kind of like homosexual. Then they came out with the story that he was castrated at an early age.
But yeah, that boy. But nah, who else is somebody crazy from Twitter? That either who's that one dude? Oh, that one dude that fake ass Nigerian. What's his name? Carnage. Not that one. He popped up with.
GT, Big GT, or whatever his name was, the one who had the Mercedes, the old ass Mercedes in his profile picture.
Yeah, man.
I think it was
it's
Big GT or something like that.
There's another dude that like he always come up and call us sea pickers.
He
But
talking
I hate sea pickers. He's on here. I think I blocked his ass.
Oh yeah, no, he is on here. I know you're talking about. He's like, yeah, hello, he's like, hello, cop pickers. That boy, yeah, bro. I cannot remember that boy's name, but yeah, no, he is on here. I heard him say, bro, I sound like Buddy off of Twitter. And I look, that's what that is.
Garvin, have you ever went on Khazarian Empire's panel on YouTube
Fuck no, I don't go on YouTube panels.
Oh shit, bro! It'd be nothing but them calling each other Jarreres and low IQ and all types of pseudo shit.
A lot of let's hear a lot of Indians. Let's hear the indigenous language, please, so I can steal it and take it back to the tribes and let them know that they know the language, please. Come up here, Tassar. Go come up here. Tassar, Caesar, the fifth, the sixth. My bad. A lot of Indians. Let's hear that indigenous language.
But you know something? You know
sound like-
something? Do they ask Mexicans that? Because Mexicans have a high number of indigenous ancestry, but they don't ask them. They lost theirs. They speak in Spanish.
That's a fact.
So what are you talking about?
That's a fact. I used to work with a Mexican guy at a soul food restaurant that was Asian owned, and I asked him, "Could you speak Nahuatl?" He said, "No, we don't speak that. We just speak Spanish and English."
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I took the DNA test, right, I'm connected to some Mexicans out of Mexico and shit like that. Right, I'm looking like, okay, it makes sense because a lot of our peoples from the South migrated to Mexico, like some of the Seminoles and all the other people, like the Alabama tribes and shit. When it was enslaving a lot of indigenous people, they migrated into Mexico. So yeah,
They were bringing a lot of people from over there to here enslaved too. So
that's true. They did a lot.
They brought a lot of folk. That's what the Mayans and all that
I don't
disappeared to.
understand
In the
how
Aztecs.
they keep bypassing the forced assimilation to the point where you could not get a job, you could not integrate into society. So what were people supposed to do to maintain some type of livelihood, to have some type of resources? So I'm still trying to understand. They can never answer how were they able to retain when the United States government was at war with these people. How were they able to retain their native tongue? And I'm going to ask them, can you show me, any of you all, show me a treaty in which any of the native languages were used in the treaty? I don't care if it was a clause or a sentence, because if a treaty is for mutual parties, so that means both parties were speaking English. So then their ancestors were signing contracts with the United States federal government in English. So they were speaking English at the time of these treaties in the 1800s, 1860s. So I haven't seen a single treaty with the United States government that's in their native tongue. So I would like for them to show me that, or any correspondence from that
They're
time
all
period.
in English.
Well, it's the reason why they
Even if
call
it's a
them black
letter.
civilized tribes. It's the reason
Even
why
if
they
it's a
call them-
letter.
Baby, it's all in English. It's not in Salagi.
But they had the agents. See, when they had the agents that infiltrated the tribes, the agents would so-called translate, and these natives,
But before there was
the
even
ones that were the natives, they would have those natives come in, and then they would be the ones signing on behalf of the true tribes. They were taking over, and this is how they started assuming these roles or what have you, because most of it is theatrics. You know, them putting in place. They even created a wild West show with this Wild Bill character. The Congress actually paid for it so they could parade people around the world to act like, oh, these are the Indians. See what Indians look like? They did all of this. All of it is theatrics. All the pretend show and the play. You know,
on a historical document of any sort, any on papyrus, I don't care if it's written on the side of a building. They have no historical documents with their native tongue. There is no correspondence. To even have Indian agents that are facilitating and brokering deals, I have never seen. So I would like for them to show any correspondence, because we open up our cameras, we show documents where there's, I have never seen. It's gotta go.
Oh no, let me like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We don't want to.
Yeah, so I've never seen any correspondence, even if
his
it's
mustache
letters
on.
between, before there was any treaties brokered. I've never seen any historical document with their native tongue, their native language.
there's not going to be any, because they were
Robert, why you
using
kick
these.
Mr. Musty off?
They were you.
I ain't trying to see that
They were
shit.
using it.
My bad. Go ahead.
Sister, what was
My
you
bad.
saying, sister?
Yeah, my bad, sister. Yeah.
Yeah, they were using these people, and they would so-called translate. So they would say, hey, this treaty says X, Y, and Z. And then they would say, oh, okay, let me tell them it says X, Y, and Z. And then they would tell them that it said X, Y, and Z based off what they wanted it to sound like, basically. If that's, you know, they use them.
This is what I'm challenging you for those
they
that are in
had-
the audience to to because y'all go in these various
They
rooms.
had them infiltrating the tribes because there's records. I've shown plenty of them. There are records that shows what they were paid, what tribe they were in, what how much they were paid. They were agents, literally agents. And they had them infiltrating in the tribes. And when they were in the tribes, they would come in and then they would be representing them in the tribes. And, then they'd have these honorary tribes come in. They were getting people in the mission, getting 50 people. Once they brought 50 people, they created a new reservation or plantation. Because now they had a pastor, a hospital facility, and someone to do education with those three things. That's how they had all these so-called Indian training schools too. So now they created those by bringing these people in through these women missions that they were pulling off in the early.
I understand all that. This is a rhetorical question for those that go into these spaces and challenge these Native Americans. I'm asking them to challenge them on that. I understand the response the sister gave. We're all common knowledge here. I think we all can agree to what Sister Soul was saying. So when y'all are having these interactions, challenge them. I know they never provide any documentation, but it would be great when they want to bring up their native tongue, if they could show any. I don't care if it's a child that was in school writing a letter to its parents. Because we have all these things, a lot of their letters were intercepted. Can they show it, or anyone's in the chat, can you show us any historical documentation with your native tongue? Because a lot of stuff y'all saying sounds gibberish. Y'all only know a few phrases. All y'all speaking English. Because at the end of the day, the English language, being official language of the United States, it would yield money, okay, and resources. So I would just like to challenge them to provide some type of correspondence with their native tongue on it. Otherwise, their ancestors didn't speak those languages.
But they had our children in the schools with these people learning. The children were teaching. They were teaching them certain languages, the ones that did speak different languages. So this is how they learned some of the languages. That was the purpose of having them in the schools with us. They would get rid of the parents. I don't want to stay on here, but you know what happened. They would get rid of the parents, and then they kept the children. And then the children would be in the school with these natives, and then they were training them and learning the languages from them. And then they had them changing their language. But the English was already here. English was a trade language that goes back forever. Like they try to say, oh, that's from England, and English. That's a whole nother story, but that has nothing to do with the language. That's a language that's a trade language. It's been used for a long time.
I want to say this though. Have anyone?
Oh, where you go? Go ahead.
Y'all
Watch the dark side.
You heard about the 1883 Code of Indian Offenses?
Maybe. Go. You can explain it.
So in 1883, that it stopped all traditional languages, practices. You couldn't even do no sun dancing, no dancing, no if
Oh
you
yeah, I heard of that.
medicine men. They came on reservations, and if you wasn't on reservations, they came and stopped all that shit in 1883. So I want to know, how the fuck do they know their languages? How they still practice their culture? If it was a code that went on all reservations and stopped all of them from doing that, you couldn't speak no language.
They trained them, brother. What could you repeat that? I've never heard of that before. Repeat that for me.
18.
Okay, you got a call or something.
It's codes of Indian offenses, which they stopped them from doing that. So in 1883, they came on it because remember they was practicing polygamy, so they stopped polygamy in the tribes. It was legal to have polygamy, like have multiple wives and husbands.
As long as you can take care of them, yeah.
Yeah, well, they take care of them, right? So they went over there and said, nope, y'all gotta do all monogamy. Y'all can't have no rain dancing, no dancing or nothing, and you can't have no medicine men.
Right.
And they came and stopped all. You can't speak your language.
Actual act. I'm so glad you said that, because I've heard that, and obviously we know that, but I didn't know that it was an actual act for that. I'm glad you said that. That's crazy.
1883. Yeah, you can look it up. 1883.
Reservations were concentration detainment camps, and the goal was to have us all centralized in Oklahoma, so they have us surrounded, and then they could attack from all angles. But the United States realize how vast the land was. They didn't realize there was much more land once they crossed west of the Mississippi. So y'all have to understand we're dealing with people that were making claims to land they had no idea or knowledge where they were. But I also wanted to point out, just going back to the article I was reading earlier, that the state of Georgia, they petitioned Congress and they said, well, they said in 1838, the representatives of Georgia, they said if the Cherokee were not kicked out at Pew Pew Point, that Georgia was willing to go to war with the federal government. And so this all goes back to the War Department. So when I talk about people looking up their files and their genealogy from the 1820s, 1830s, a lot of your documents are going to be what was called the War Department at the time. And I guess today they call it the Department of Defense. So when we talking about all these things that happen, we're speaking as if these atrocities didn't happen. And so I just don't understand how anybody can make light of any of this. Like, people were unalive, people were harmed. And so just to say, why don't we speak the language? That is really, really, really harmful, knowing that there was all kind of war. Children were being taken from their homes and forced to assimilate with no parents to connect them to the ancient ways. So we know these things happen. I don't understand why there's no compassion or any type of like emotional intelligence when talking about these sensitive subjects with our heritage. But literally,
they don't care. But most of them know, sis. You know, they know, a lot of them. They do that because they try to rattle us or razzle the conversation from what it's at. You know, especially when a lot of good points are being made and people are bringing things to light. You know, they'll come in to try and do that intentionally. They know what's going on. They're not crazy as they pretend to be. That some of them are very foolish, but they crazy. They just crazy.
They know because of the Indian Wars and also the Indian slave trade, right? When they placed all those people, like the prime example would be the Natchez. What they do, they took the men, enslaved them, sent them across the waters to Haiti. They did that to all the tribes over there. So you telling me over millions of Indians was enslaved, sent across America, all across America, and somehow when people say, "Hey, long bro, like listen, everybody you see on these plantations wasn't Africans. These was American Indians. They just lost their tribe. They don't say shit about it. They don't say, oh man, you know what? You probably is right. Because in my tribe, we heard about that. They don't talk about their tribal people saying, well, you know, we got some people that was enslaved. We know people, because I did my family genealogy. I got people who was enslaved in Alabama. I got a couple lines that was enslaved in Alabama, and I know who owned them and everything. So, you know, they don't talk about their family being enslaved. They say, well, they ended in the American Indian slave trade. That's BS, because there's records of the Mayans being put in slave, then shipped to the Carolinas and the Virginias. So I'll be like, man, shit, y'all know, y'all just don't want to say shit.
True.
Real quick, I just want to read this real quick. It says another example of the disregard for native lives was the voyage when we talk about the Trail of Tears. So there was a voyage of the Thomas Yeatman, which carried a party of approximately 500 Cherokee down the Tennessee River, up into the Ohio, then down the Mississippi River and down to the mouth of the Arkansas and up as far as it could travel. In central Arkansas, where a lot of my people were in the 1820s, 1830s, the Cherokee had to disembark and walk the final 200 miles by foot. They said the voyage took place March 1834. So this is before the vast majority of Cherokee moved westward. So what's interesting about this is what they can follow these voyages by reading through the journal of one of the federal officers. So every time they say, oh, we, like the guy earlier, oh, we are from Alabama. This is what I was telling him. I said, no, your people were the overseers to move people to the outskirts of town. But the federal officers that accompanied them, one of his journals read, I'll read this quickly just to respect the people that passed. It said, April 5th, buried. Here, the girl, child of a Scottish Cherokee. April 6th, Stephen Spaniard's girl passed away this morning of measles. April 7th, Bear Paw's boy child passed away this morning of dysentery. April 9th, Henson's child passed away today of the worms. April 10th, Richardson's child passed this morning. And they said it got worse over the span of 2 days. Over one 3-day period, 23 people perished. But by the time the party reached present-day Oklahoma, 1 out of every 6 people had passed away, including 45 children under the age of 10. So this particular party of deportees suffered more than many others, but their experience is nonetheless indicative of the disregard that most white Americans held for their indigenous neighbors. But of all these stories, the one that sticks out with this author here was the one that occurred on the Tennessee River, not far from Chattanooga. There, a Cherokee man was separated from his young child as he and a large crowd were forced at Pew Pew Point onto a transport to the Tennessee River. So then we forget that these people were trying to make money off of cotton and other agriculture. So I just wanted to share that. Thank y'all for listening. Give me that. Thank you.
Also, there was another Trail of Tears too. It was the first Trail of Tears out the Great Lakes region after the 1812 wars, when they sent a lot of those indigenous tribes from the Great Lakes region into Oklahoma and also to Arkansas. Y'all heard about that one?
Yeah. Well, you got. That's why, yeah, you got a lot of these, yeah, from in Oklahoma and people connected to them. Like the Potawatomi, they were in Oklahoma. You can see them on road. Yeah. And the Kickapoo and all them, you know.
Yeah, I just found that out a couple of days ago. Like, damn, was the second Trail of Tears? But that's when the second war with the British.
Hey, what's up, Lydia?
Against America. And well, I think that the Choctaw and the who else? The Chickasaw. I think another tribe was aiding the American colonists against the British and their allies.
Oh, Lydia, you're a citizen of the Potawatomi. Nice. Nice. There. I'm getting tired. But sheesh, hey, I'm gonna wrap it live up here right now, yo. God damn, y'all, everybody just dropped. Well, shit, I'm gonna just wrap it up then. It's time to go, niggas. Shall we have it is time to go. But yeah, until next time. I ain't drop it? Hold on, I ain't drop anybody. What? I swear I ain't drop. What is going on? Hold on 1 second. I swear I ain't dropped nobody. My hand's right here. Like, what? What is going on? I didn't drop anybody, I swear. TikTok fucking with my lives. I think it is time to get off here. Yo, the live is glitching. Because live is not even loaded in. No problem. What's up, Miss? All right, Lila. All right. See? Like, I'm not doing anything. Yeah, it's time to wrap this thing up, y'all.
Yeah, they looking at your live, bro. They on
Like,
your ass.
I swear, but like I didn't press nothing. Yeah, that's crazy. They all dropped. Yo, that shit was. I was like, why is everybody dropping? Hold on. Who's in the request? Let's see if Georgia can come up. Let's see. Anybody else can come up. Yo, that I ain't never seen no shit like this before. Thank you for the follow, Lydia. I was like, are y'all doing that to fuck with me? Y'all just dropping off to fuck with me.
No, I got kicked off.
You got kicked off.
Now we here.
Yeah, I was about to say. Oh, you pouring
Linda,
something,
you from
G?
Wisconsin?
Hey, TikTok must be glitching.
Or the natives start attacking, they can't take you to court, so they just don't.
Yeah, hold on. I think I know who the culprit is. I'm about to play the song real quick. I think I know who the culprit is.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask you to play our outro song.
An outro song for sure. Yeah, I got the perfect one. I think I know who it is.
You got self. You're an African. You got self. You're an African. Why you so embarrassed? Just admit that we were slaves. Why you so embarrassed? Just admit that we were slaves. You say you Indian and that's why we attack.
I'm gonna come out the blue when he about to end the live. Y'all been quiet, hiding like rats the whole time.
You got self. You're an African. You got self.
Like whatever differences you guys had here or whatever challenges you had to surpass, if there was another timeline, another life, or yeah, and timing, yeah, it would have worked. That's what he's saying. But he's got that a little void in his heart as well because of it. I feel it. Okay, he's not feeling whole either. So, do you want to ask something specific? We have 5 more minutes, so I just want to know if you want any specific or just see what else comes up. Oh, I do feel like I feel like I sense some regret from you. Okay. I feel some regret. Get on the list. You double tap my photo here, go to my bio, and there's a link tree. And you can pay for these readings, whatever reading you want. You see them here. And the list is I have two readings and one yes no question. So if it's a reading, it'll be the third. So what I'm seeing, Basma, is you. He's over here with his head down, and you're going to hug him. You're hugging him. You wanna protect him. You want to reassure him. You want to give him. Okay. Oh, you are sitting. Okay, Naomi. Perfect. You want to reassure him. You want to I don't know, show him this love. That's what they're showing me. It's like you want to go to him and hug him and reassure him. He's with his head down, like a little bit sad, a little bit sad, yeah. Yeah, that's what. Okay, so you want to know if there's a future? Okay. Okay. Did he replace you? Okay, with that question, they're showing me a pelican. They're showing me a pelican. I don't think he replaced you, but it's like he had to eat. So
Volume is low, but yeah, I'm about to get out of here. Y'all stuck. Why does TikTok do that shit on the browser? But yeah, I'm about to get out of here.
but not the main fish, if it makes sense.